$2 super chat.
Yeah, of course. My name's Wayne.
I'm Wayne, and this is Lee.
that happens all the time. We get muddled up all the time. So myself and Lee founded Brew York. Feels like ages ago, but five a bit years ago. We both did everything, and then I stepped away and looked after managing the business side of things. So I'm the managing director. Lee focused on brewing, was head brewer until about 3 or 4 months ago, and now is production director.
I've reluctantly taken the title of production director. I just like making the beer, but eventually had to step up and allow someone else that opportunity.
I wouldn't say we're jack of all trades, masters of none. We kind of can put our hands to everything in the business and brewing and side of stuff. But yeah, hopefully we're getting to become masters of some of our the skills we put our hands to.
Have we got any questions from the audience tonight? We're all back up. Brew York's back.
Welcome back, everyone. I believe we had some internet issues there, and we think that was across both streams, do we?
No, yours
just ours.
We just peaked at 420 live viewers.
Oh, nice.
420 live viewers.
I have had a couple of people saying we left the Brew York and joined this
nice,
one.
Good idea. Well, exactly, it makes sense.
So, yeah.
Nice.
So anyone who's rejoined us, apologies for the technology issues. If we don't have one every time we do a live streaming, then we're doing something wrong. So it's technology, unfortunately. But welcome back if you've just rejoined us. If you have, we're drinking Project Handley. We got a little bit carried away. I haven't even explained what the beer is. We just started drinking it.
So we have moved on to the second beer, but we haven't yet begun to explain it, so perhaps we should do that now. So what we have here is what we're describing as a modern pale. So it's 5%. So a modern pale these days means it's generally going to be hazy. It's going to have a lot of suspended protein in there that better returns the hop character. They tend to be juicier. They tend to be lower in bitterness. They probably resemble more breakfast juice than they do as traditionally what we would consider beer to be. So the reason we've called it Project Handley is the new site that we were privileged to have Simon and Mel join us at earlier today is at Handley Park. And Handley is the surname of our new landlord. So he modestly named his business park after himself.
Or his father did.
Or his father did. And then we have decided to call this beer Project Handley to commemorate our expansion into the new site.
Yeah, so 3 awesome hops in this. Amarillo, which was something we really struggled to get hold of early days. Simcoe, one of my favourite hops, and then Citra, the big C.
Yeah.
It smells gorgeous.
It does.
Can't go wrong with that one.
So it's quite easy going for a 5%. There's not much bitterness. It's it's relatively juicy.
And then the artwork on the cans. You've seen these things firsthand.
You were stood up on the platforms with us.
These are the vessels, and this is the platform that's going to go around our vessels.
Yes, so we're up there.
You were round this corner here. You were stood on that bit earlier.
Yes, we were. Yeah, we're brilliant. This is just like breakfast juice. It really is. Have we got any questions from the audience? Anybody? Maybe John. Have you got a question, John, from the audience?
So did I misunderstand this? Is this one barrel aged?
No. It was just a separate question had come through about the barrel aging.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
It's very light in colour.
We don't have a microphone over the audience, so for anyone who didn't get that, we were asked, is this beer barrel aged, which I think referred back to an earlier question, so just a little point of confusion there. No, this is not barrel aged. This is about 3 weeks old, I believe, this one.
It's really nice.
Thank you.
So I've got a beer, a super chat here from Anarchy Brew Co.
Anarchy, hey guys.
Anarchy Brew Co.
Hello Simon, hello Dawn.
5 super chat. It's for you guys really. Good luck with the new brewery, my friends. Hope to catch up sometime in 21.
Amazing.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of the
Thank you guys.
things we've both really missed this year is the lack of interaction with other breweries as well as the general public. So we normally attend at least a beer festival a month, and those beer festivals are as much about the getting to catch up with the rest of the industry as well as the public. We love sharing our beer with people, talking about that, and then once the public go home, we love getting pissed with the brewers.
The Anarchy guys actually were the first ever other brewers to come into this building and see what we were doing. So we'd gone to, there's a pub at York Station called the York Tap.
Yeah.
And there was a Battle of the Brewers. It was Vocation versus Anarchy.
Right, okay.
And we'd gone along, and it got messy. They had a beer called Warhead on the bar. It's about 9%, but it drinks about 4.
Okay.
So we smashed them back. The night got very messy, and then they drunkenly said, "Oh, but we'll come and see you in the morning." We never really thought they would, and then they came to this, which was just a building site at that time, and then listened to us wax lyrical about our grand plans to take over the York beer scene.
And we brewed 2 beers with them since. So Space Viking at their place, and here it was. What was it? It was one of your metal type ones, I'm guessing.
I can't remember now. Sorry guys, you're gonna have to prompt me on that one.
Brilliant. We actually had Anarchy Brew Co. on. We had them on in the summer on our channel.
Oh,
They
nice.
were great. They set up very similar to this, where they set up in front of the vessels, and we had a great time again. But we drank all of the beer, and it was they brew some terrific.
But
beer.
if you want to go to a great tap room, go to Anarchy's tap room. They've got a stage, and they're properly into their decent music, and they have loads of live music there.
Oh, right.
In more normal times, obviously. They had a great calendar lined up for next year.
I forgot to mention our bar server tonight is the upgrade on our previous salesman, Tom, who went and joined Anarchy. So Tom's Anarchy now. So if you're watching, how you doing? How you doing, Bacon?
Bacon. Oh, another question coming in.
It's just a smaller.
Will there be a tap room at Handley Park?
Possibly. Watch your space. There's definitely going to be lots of events there. We really hope that the lockdown restrictions will ease enough by our 5th birthday in April to be able to do our 5th bash at Handley Park. We're going to have to wait and see, play it by ear, and then decide how we're going to do this. But we've got big plans. It's got a huge yard. We can do some really cool things there, and then we can do some sort of shuttle in from this site across the other space. You get to see the tap room, beer hall, and then come across and party into the wee small.
But as a more permanent fixture right now, it feels unlikely because we have one in the city centre.
Yeah.
So I think we'd only take business away from here if we put one
Having
up
seen the site today, do you think you may host some beer festivals in the future?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
there. I think in good weather it would be a fantastic
Yeah.
venue. So it'd have to be
Yeah.
through the summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
That'd be a good
Speaking
one.
speaking of good weather, any chance we can have a bit of a boost?
Right. Can you pop the heating back on, John?
Simon got
All
a
in.
super chat here from Neil Long.
Oh, Neil Long. Oh yes, just realised we couldn't get the 30th. We've got a slot on New Year's Eve
Oh, nice.
for a couple of hours. Can't wait. There we go.
Brilliant.
So
Glad you managed to get in.
a follow-up £5 super chat from Neil
Nice.
Long, saying that he's coming on New Year's Eve. Thank you very much, Neil. Thank you very much.
Cheers now.
Oh, and Anarchy Brew Co. are saying it was called Cosmopolitan.
Oh yes,
No,
course it was.
Yeah, it was based on Lee's wife's favourite cocktail.
What was it called? I didn't get the end of the name.
Cosmo Bellini, a cross between a cosmopolitan and a Bellini cocktail.
Got a super chat
Because my
from
wife,
Stevie
who's in
as
the
well.
audience over there, her favourite cocktail is the cosmopolitan.
We got another super chat from Stevie. Cheers. Give us a Slipknot growl.
Ask me after beer 6.
After beer 6, Stevie. There we go. There we go. Brilliant. Okay, I'm thoroughly enjoying this. I've been to many beer festivals in the UK and Europe. Mel, put your hands in your ears. You know, it's gone long into the night, and this would be the ideal breakfast beer. Where I was in Sweden at the Brewski Festival, and it went into the morning. We were not myself, but there was other brewers who were at the breakfast table, and this would have gone down really well. This grapefruit style beer.
Well, I mean, it's funny you should say that because we obviously have done a few beer festivals now, and for anyone else in the world, the morning after it would be Lucasade or something like that.
Yeah.
You wander around a beer festival and you see all the brewers. Everybody's on shopper hopper.
That's it. Yeah.
Was it like 2.5% grapefruit
Just
radler?
getting back into it. Yeah. I know it. Orange can.
So we did a beer called Blood Eagle a few years back, and it was a grapefruit and blood orange pale ale, relatively low strength. And we had that at Leeds International Beer Festival a few years back. So the first night, like every beer festival, we always go a bit too big. And come in the next morning serving everyone feeling a bit rough. That beer was the go-to for every brewer there. We were just like, oh god, that's making me feel better.
And it brings you back, doesn't it?
That first night on holiday when you always go, we won't go too big tonight.
And then the morning after, you're like,
oh, I've ruined the rest of my week. Yeah, brilliant.
So we've got a question. Sorry, have you guys got a question there, or we've got one if not. So we got one from Simon Parsons. You're marooned on a desert island and can only take 3 Brew York beers. Only one can be over 5.5%. What do you pick? So
we're not going to make you pick 3 of our beers.
You can widen that
3
to
beers generally. Desert island. What are you taking?
Do you know, like yourself, you probably get asked this question all the time. This desert island beer thing, and I turn it around to style. So I'd say 3 beers, without putting a name on the beer, 3 styles. I'd say Imperial Stout, double IPA, and maybe New England IPA.
Yeah, but they've put the 5.5% twist on. Only one's allowed to be over 5.5.
Oh, only
You
one.
guys are obsessed
Right.
with probably about a 4% pale cask beer. Probably doesn't suit the weather if it. Well, they don't say what kind of island it is.
Yeah.
Desert island.
And then on an evening, by the campfire, have your Imperial Stout.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Totally.
Well, we've got a pretty interesting beer called Simon Le Bon. So it's 3.8% lemon sherbet sour, and it's super refreshing. It's just like drinking lemonade. So that'd be pretty awesome on a desert island. Well, would be as long as you've got food and other stuff, but that'd kind of work for me.
I think that's a given. Yeah.
How many times do you get asked that a year? The desert island question.
Not as often as you do, I'm guessing, because people would normally come up to us and they're talking about specific beers and things like that. So.
It's a hard thing to pin down because it's going to change with the seasons. It's going to change
really
with what mood you're in, and I think we're very lucky these days in that the beer world is as broad as it is. So you don't have to pick 3 beers. There's like 20, 50, 100 that you can really enjoy out there, if not more.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Stan the Man asked earlier on, are you ever going to brew perhaps a rice beer?
Actually,
potentially, more of a lager than a beer, so it's lager style of beer.
No, we did start looking at what we're going to be doing for the year ahead, and there are 2 areas that we want to do a little bit more in this year. One is wheat beers, so Weiss beers, and one is lagers. So lagers, we've not had the water to be able to do that with so far, but the new site we're going to have what's called a reverse osmosis machine, which will strip out the water and it will make strip out the minerals from the water, and it'll make the water very like what it is in Pilsen, which is where the original Pilsner comes from. So a very, very low mineral count. So basically just a very clean, crisp flavour of the noble hops comes through. So we're really looking forward to seeing what we're able to do with the new water that we're going to have. And lagers will be one thing, and definitely some wheat beers will be coming this year.
Pilsners, and it's going to be so exciting.
Our new head brewer, Matt, has just been working over in Florida. And a bit of a speciality of his is the Mexican lager.
So you know what we're like for puns. Anyone think of any Mexican lager names that aren't COVID related?
And are within good taste.
Right, that way.
So that rules you out, John. Mexican wrestlers. Who was the guy with the mask that did all the acrobatics? Rey Mysterio. Grain Mysterio, there we go. Who nailed it? So you guys got any more super chats or comments?
We just Mal's iPad was frozen, and we were wondering if our stream had frozen, but it's okay. It's okay, Matt. We just paused the video on there. We didn't need the video on. People are asking when is my first wee break?
Well,
It won't be long, I tell you.
at least we won't hear you this time, though. Oh, won't we? If we're all quiet, we might.
Yeah.
I think we're playing a game of brinkmanship up here.
Yeah.
See,
We're all waiting for the first person
whoever
to
goes
break.
first is the loser.
Brilliant.
It's going to be like a bus, though. We all go at once and leave nobody here to...
Simon Wood, £5 super chat. How far is the gent, Simon?
Literally right behind you.
Just there.
You didn't have to go far.
Brilliant. I spotted that as soon as I came in.
Yeah, we had to rearrange the seating. Originally, Simon and Mel were supposed to be sat here, but we knew that the toilet break thing.
Yeah.
That's coming from me.
Oh, you've got a bit of a name for this, have you?
I've got them. Yeah. Well, we've sanded up. We got a Victorian terrace, so we took all the carpets up and sanded all the floorboards up, so it's quite hollow. And it's a 2 up, 2 down. So the kitchen's below the bathroom, so people can with the floorboards all sanded up. Yeah, it's not
As long as that's all you heard, you didn't do a Leslie Nielsen and Naked Gun. So
I only need a wee.
Yeah.
I believe we have a question coming in.
Just wondering where the barman
You want to read
was.
this one?
There's a barman gone somewhere. With the new expansion, will we see more of your beers in supermarkets? Question mark. Peter. So Peter joined us with Brewery a few weeks back for the live.
Peter Riley, otherwise known as
Juice Foresight.
Juice Foresight. Yeah. We ran a competition to be part of the audience 2-3 months ago, and they did. Is it the Price is Right where you do the high low with the cards thing? So they did a whole video of that, and quite rightly won a place in the audience.
Brilliant.
So back to the question: will you see more of our beers in supermarkets as a result of the expansion? Quite possibly, but the key thing you'll be wanting to know is: will that impact on us delivering all the new beers, the special, the interesting stuff? Absolutely not. If anything, it will allow us to do more of it.
Yeah, we're trying to be, Nadia will love this, but we're trying to be more organised next year. So we've got to be reactive. We've got to react to the market at the moment. We've got to try and bring out new beers. If we're in a lockdown and we can't sell to pubs, we've got to sell to direct to the consumer. So we're bringing lots of new beers out, mainly because that's what people have asked us to do. We've still got our core beers going, but new beers are what people want to see. So we try to sit down and make a plan for next year. So, you bring a release calendar out, which is something we've never been able to do. At most breweries, it's 12 seasons, we're bringing 12 new beers out, or at push 18.
Yeah.
But he's like, I've come at the release calendar, there's 52 new beers.
Brilliant.
There is 52 new beers.
Beer a week, that's amazing.
So exactly, and I was like, okay, that's new beers. How many are we bringing back from the seasonal range? Oh, another 52. So, as well as core, so...
No.
Pretty much.
45 new beers and 40 reviews.
Wow.
So 85, and that's on top of the core range next year.
So are you? Would you say, Lee, you're more comfortable over there in terms of like being in there and brewing, and I know you moved up, but so choosing 40 new beers is it just down to your kind of
absolutely.
passion?
No, totally.
Yeah.
The thing I get most satisfaction out of is developing new beers, brewing new beers. So I know COVID sucks, but it's from a brewing perspective, it's been kind of fun because we can only brew new beers when the previous ones are sold.
I see.
But they've been flying out the door because people have been drinking lots at home. So as soon as one's gone, I can do another one.
Yeah.
So we are ordinarily prolific, but this year it's been bang, just knocking them
Can you
out.
imagine going to a really fancy restaurant and hiring one of the best chefs in the world and saying to them, I want you to brew this same brew, I want you to cook this same meal. I've got 4 different meals I want you to cook, and that's it. And that's it for the year. Just keep making them, or you'd lose them straight away. You want people, you hire those chefs because they're creative and they want to do things that are interesting, that people want to taste, that get the best ingredients that are around in the season. You want to try things that are new and experiment and see what works, what doesn't work, and that's the kind of thing that we want to do. We know that we've got a core range that people like, and we're going to keep that beer available. We've got a seasonal range that we love and the public love now, which is great. So let's keep doing these creative things and bring new beers out, and hopefully I'll get to try them all.
and it poses its challenges. I think if we asked our production team, what's the best thing about what we do here at Brew York, they'd probably say the diversity of what
Yeah,
we do.
yeah.
If we ask them what's the worst thing about what we do here at Brew York, they'd say probably the diversity of what we do, because it makes it really hard. You have to try and master all these things. One beer doesn't package the same as the next one, so they're constantly kind of on the hop.
I remember going to a big regional, and they just fitted they call them craft plants. Can you remember the regionals putting craft plants in about 5-6 years ago?
Craft plants or pilot plants.
So,
brew on them once or twice,
it-
and then they collect dust.
It wasn't that Welsh brewery,
Yeah.
was it? Begins with a B.
Yeah.
I remember trying some of their craft stuff, and it wasn't too bad actually in the supermarkets.
Yeah. Now, I remember speaking to Bill, if Bill's watching. Hi Bill, how you doing? I remember speaking to Bill, and I asked him about brewing the same 4 beers over and over again. And he said it has its own challenges because it has to taste the same, blah blah blah. But he said, I'm really excited about this new craft plant because I can be creative on a small scale rather than committing to 20 bags of malt or 40, or probably more on a great big brewery like that, but they're able to do something on a small scale and be really creative with it rather than the same dark or the same bitter.
Yeah.
And the big risk of
week in, week out, you know?
I suppose that's been the problem with the big regionals, is that the way the beer industry used to be was people would go and do 5-10 pints of the same thing, sat at the end of the bar, every night of the week, and that meant that these grew to be quite big breweries. So in one turn of their brewery, as we call it, they would produce a huge amount of beer. But that's great once you've got an established reputation for that beer.
Yeah.
But to try and do something new in that kind of volume,
Incredible.
that's a massive risk.
Yeah.
One of the challenges for smaller breweries, so our kit behind us is 10 brewers barrels, which isn't a huge kit. We just brew on it quite regularly at the moment. And we bought a pilot kit, which is two barrels, so 1/5 of the size, so we can do experimental stuff, creative. But it takes the same time to brew on that 2-barrel kit as it does to brew on the 10-barrel kit. So if we've got a spare vessel and we've got enough core beer produced, we don't have any extra staff we can just call on to brew a beer on the pilot kit while we're brewing the big kit.
So you find yourself not using it.
So you're looking at it and thinking, well, 8 hours of resource, well, maybe 8 to 9 hours of resource from our brewer's time on the big kit or the small kit. We're confident in the recipe ability and things like that. So we know that we can brew something that'll hopefully the public will like as much as we do. So a lot of the times it made sense to brew it on the big kit. So when we go to the new site on the 30-barrel twin kit, the experimentation will be happening here.
Absolutely.
I mean, in a few years,
I'm going to have to admit defeat, guys. You win this round.
Yay!
I'll be back shortly.
So while Lee admits defeat, we'll grab the next beer that's on the list.
Can you get we got one from Joe Biden's dentures.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, $2 super chat. How many beers has Brew York brewed in 2020?
Good question.
Lee's just gone to the toilet.
He's run to the toilet, so
196 in total.
196 since we started.
Wow.
But no, not this year. That's since we started. 196 unique beers. Yeah, I'd guess. We should do a poll and see who's closest. But I'd guess at least 50 new ones this year.
Wow.
So we brought a beer out. Abbreviation was HYG, but the G stood for Giles, which is a brew. We started COVID around 400, and then we got to 500 a few months back. And that's the times we've brewed. It's not the unique beers we've brewed. So we're now up to about 550 Giles.
While Lee's in the toilet, can I go? We got 3 minutes to get 20 likes. For 300 likes in the first hour.
Nice.
300 in the first
John,
hour. That will only build for more viewership later on.
Can you imagine what we're going to be at in hour 4?
This is going to be, well, we've done, our record is about 1,000 likes in a night. Can we do, we got 289, we just picked up another 9 likes. Can we do 300 likes? We got 5 to go.
5 to go.
5 likes to go.
Come on, John, log
Hit
on.
the like button down below.
Oh, hello. We're almost at
300 likes. We've
300
done
likes,
it.
yes.
300 likes. Thank you all so very much. A lot of people
That's
saying
where-
Simon didn't go to the toilet first. Which,
Yeah. I know that's the thing, because now Lee's broke. I'm like, I kind of need the loo, but there's no way I'm going before Simon. I'll be beating up against the barrel back here trying to hide it.
I think it was the belly full of food, and I think
Yeah.
it's trying to work its way through the food.
Maybe so.
You never know. That's how mine works. Anyway.
Naz wants to know, do you sell bacon or scampi pub crisps?
Oh, nice bacon and scampi fries. Unfortunately, we don't. We've got the Blues Kitchen upstairs who do pretty awesome meat snacks. But down here we normally have our favourite, which is jalapeno
Sniders.
jalapeno pretzels. They're always a good
Love
one.
them.
And then we do Serious Pig. It's a Serious Pig snack. So we have, the little cheese things are really good if you've never tried them. And then the meats, the snacking ham and things like that. The guys
Oh, thank you.
original location was next door to where Nadia used to work. So Nadia, our market manager, came from Brick Brewery, and Brick Brewery's next door to Serious Pig. So we went down and brewed a beer with Brick quite a few years back, and met the guys from Serious Pig, and got hooked on their snacks. So anyone who's drinking along with us, we're on to beer number 3 now.
Number 3.
So this is Black Eagle. So Black Eagle is a black IPA.
my number 2
So
yet.
it's not a stout if you watch it and you don't have the beers. But yeah, it's a black IPA. 5.8%, and a beer that we originally brewed in our first year. Black IPAs were big back then. Everyone loved the black IPA, including ourselves.
Yeah.
So it's an original IPA style, so West Coast IPA, but with a dark finish.
Was
So-
it the guys over in Stone Brewing Company? They brewed the Sublimely Self-Righteous. Was that the first
I didn't know
black
that,
IPA style?
but it was a great
About
beer.
your knowledge, if that's so. But,
It was so what they wanted to do was to produce a beer that tasted golden, like a golden hoppy beer. But you open your eyes if you drank it blind, and you were like, it's black.
Yeah.
Wow. That was the story behind it, but I think they've evolved since then. I think black IPAs, especially in the UK, because we've always liked the more roasty, toasty stouts over here, of course, the London Porter, just to name one style. And I think we've evolved that style a little bit to bring a little bit of that roasted malt through into the beer.
what was the Beavertown? Is that Black Betty?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Black
I think that was probably the first one I'd really kind of encountered, and Magic
Rock 8 Ball.
8 Ball did one as well. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
they
lovely.
did, yeah, they did, yeah.
I think they were the two
brought
that.
that back this year. And then Andy from Elusive's a huge Bipper fan.
Oh yeah, we should say hashtag Bipper comeback, which
Yeah.
is what he loves to put on Twitter. Nobody loves a black IPA more than Andy at Elusive.
Yeah.
He's like a one-man army trying to get these styles produced more regularly.
So we've always loved the style, and even to the extent where, as a brand new brewery, we decided to do something a bit weird, and we brought out in our core range, we brought out a beer called Kiwi, which is actually what did we call it? A New Zealand brown ale. Yeah. So a similar style in terms that it's stupidly hopped, brown in colour, but tastes like an IPA.
So it was a US brown, so the style of the US brown, but made with New Zealand hops. We absolutely loved the beer, but unfortunately the UK has fallen out of love with brown beer.
I love a nut brown. Oh, good nut brown. I tell you, if they're still watching, Anarchy Brew Co. They brew an amazing. Of course, where they're from the Newcastle.
Boot Boys, is it? Is it?
Boot Boys.
Yeah.
It
Boot
was
Boys, yeah.
Boot Boys, and of course that was where they're from, Newcastle. They in them parts they brew a famous brown ale, don't they? So they
Don't know what you mean.
they made their own brown ale, and that brown ale was terrific. The nuttiness and the breadiness was great. But yeah, again, I love that kind of malt. Malts are very important when it comes to beer. A lot of people love the hoppy stuff, but I think equally a good malty beer gives you the same satisfaction, I think personally.
Well, we've jumped. We've gone from a super malty, actually super malty, super hoppy, but the malts hide the hops in beer one, Maris, to a very hop forward, not about the malts at all beer in Project Handley, to this, which is again a kind of hybrid of the both.
Yeah, balance of the two. I think it's supposed to have with this stout.
So it's interesting you said that about the Newcastle beer that's brown in colour that happens to be an ale. One of our
Well disguised, guys.
one of our ex-brewers went to join Heineken earlier in the year. So Heineken now brew that beer we were talking about in Tadcaster. And one of the best things he told me in the pub after he'd left is that they actually brew it, they high gravity brew, so they brew it much stronger than it is, and they liquor back, which basically they water the beer down to get to the strength they want to sell it at. And he said that the undiluted version tastes amazing. He said that they have to take the samples off, do all the testing for it, including tasting.
Yeah.
He said it tastes amazing. They should bottle that and
It's
sell
like
it.
9%. 9% undiluted.
See,
I almost said what we're not supposed to be saying there, but we know what we're doing.
We got a few super chats in, including Anarchy Brew Company.
Oh, nice.
They
Big
come in.
boys.
So it's the first one
I
from
think
This
the nickname
one's
for
the
it's
first
Mad
one,
Dog. I
Danny
think we're allowed to
Reyes.
call it that, aren't we?
a bit early in the night, but let's discuss a collab. We have had the opportunity to brew the collab today. We have brewed the collab. We haven't done many. We've been so busy with everything else, but we haven't done much social media. But the collab's done. We topped it. We put the yeast in.
We're gonna,
Well, you're going to have to wait and see on that one.
Yeah.
We're keeping our cards close to our chest on that one.
We've got to tell you a
Exactly.
little bit about the. We're still open to ideas about the names. We had a few good ideas on the live chat a couple of weeks back. We need to decide and convince Lee what the best pun name we can come up with is.
It better be stupid.
Well, in the run-ins last time we had the Prince of Pales, we had Catherine Citra Jones,
Yeah.
and then we
Yeah,
had
I'm kind of sold on that one.
and Gareth Pale. So there's those three. But I think audience, Prince of Pales, Catherine Citra Jones, and Gareth Pale.
Yeah.
No.
I think.
So let's see what the online audience thinks. There's more ideas are more than welcome.
We got another one. K&K Brewery in Norway. 75 Norwegian kroners. Hep from Norway. And then we'll get down. So thank you very much for that one, all the way from Norway. Then we got Anarchy Brew Co. Where did that go? It's disappeared. I'll get it. Anarchy Brew Co. Lee, you mentioned Galaxy hops. Watch out what's in the can product info about our new Soul on Fire single hop Galaxy IPA released today.
Nice.
Wow.
That's from
If
Anarchy
you want
Brew
to send us a few cans to taste, we'll do it.
In fact, send this man. He'll do you an online review.
Co. Brilliant. I'm gonna. What do they say?
Oh, you're going to break the seal.
So
Break the seal.
Wayne
that's
has
the
won.
word.
Jeez. I wouldn't have
God.
predicted that
I've
beforehand.
pissed myself 3 times now.
A little uncalled for. So should we do some questions? Well, Simon is
Mel's
breaking
going to
the
win
seal.
because I'm definitely going to go shortly afterwards.
Any plans for a 0% beer? That's Ian here, who joined us in the audience, I think, a few months ago, did he?
He was there, he was definitely him.
It says Ian here / Anarchy. So,
alcohol-free beer. We've looked at a few options and toyed with the idea. I think we've probably missed the boat now because you need them out in time for January and December. But
so it's something we continue to look at. We don't have a definitive recipe for it yet, but at some point in the future, we will inevitably do a low alcohol pale. So next one we got is, what events are you most excited to get back to and attend next year? And that's from Melissa Reed.
your beer festival, obviously.
So Melissa's one of the senior organisers of the local York Camera Beer Festival.
Retired. Not organised anymore.
Well, retired. I think it's a bit like Tony from Carlito's Way, though. She keeps getting drawn back in again.
Obviously our local beer festival, York Beer Festival's one of the favourites on the schedule, as well as that. Without doubt, Leeds International.
Yeah, one
Beer
of the
Festival.
highlights of the year for myself and Wayne is Leeds International Beer Festival. We always do well there in terms of footfall and customer reception, and it's just a great beer festival.
And we happen to have a venue for the after party now.
I think is it ordinarily August?
No, September. It's first
September,
weekend in
right.
September, and then
Okay.
and then York Beer Festival's the third weekend in September usually.
I don't know how to quite say this right without insulting other beer festivals, but it's one of the least pretentious of the festivals out there.
Fair
It really is just about the beer and the
Fair
community
enough.
and people enjoying themselves.
So yeah, we did a few, pre-COVID. So last year we did some really cool festivals. London Craft Beer Festival. We hired a vault, so we converted the vault into like a mini Brew York tap room, and it was. Anyone who came down and our team and worked the bar knows it was an intense few days. It was non-stop, but it was awesome. It was so cool to go to a huge festival like that and get such support from people. We were the third busiest brewery at London Craft Beer Festival, behind Beavertown and Brewdog. And we were like this
amazing.
tiny little vault, and they had vaults that were twice the size of us, and we were like, wow, that was pretty intense.
Might have been something to do with the Simon Lemon and Katy Berry sours we had on the slush rugby.
It might have been the beer cocktails we were pouring, obviously. So no, it's beer festivals are quite a big thing for us, and it's been a bit of a crazy year. We host a lot ourselves, so we usually host one called the City of Ale Beer Festival. So York does a City of Ale celebration each year. There's kind of a bit of competition with Norwich about which city is the best for ale, and we kind of started Brew York and then decided that we had a great space in the city centre, so let's host a festival and invite all the local breweries down. Let's let them have their own bars set up, and let's try and get everyone into York talking about beer. And it was great, and we've been doing that every year since. It evolves each time, and maybe we'll do something at the new site, but we'll see. There's lots of opportunity to do some cool festivals next year.
I've got a question from Alan. He says, where are the Christmas decorations? Is that
on
the
here.
Christmas
On here.
tree is there?
So
Yeah.
So the tap room's
wearing
actually
them.
the tap room's actually closed to the public at the moment. We because of the tier 2 restrictions we're in, we haven't opened the tap room, so we haven't decorated. Well, we have decorated it. We've done a little bit of decoration, but yeah, Ant couldn't find the plug. It's his fault.
Right, moving on. So, next question. Why are black IPAs so difficult to make, and why are they so rare? And that's from Stephen Scott.
I think the rarity, let me just start on that one, sorry, to cut across. I think the rarity, and Luke will back me up on this, is the difficulty to sell them. So people love them, and I love a black IPA. You guys seem to like a black IPA, but landlords don't buy them. So as a brewery, when we brew a big batch of this beer and the landlords aren't buying it, we let's brew some more pales or some more fruity beers or stuff like that. We don't then try and influence the brewers to brew it again.
It's a style that's, unfortunately, because I love this style of beer, it went the same way as the Brut IPA, didn't it? It come in as a big flash Brut IPA, and then within 6 months to a year, I haven't seen a Brut IPA for a long time.
Yeah,
not
I hope to never see one again.
It's super dry,
Can't say I like
super
them all.
carbonated. It wasn't really my thing. Every time you have a mouthful, you want to burp. So
And it was dry.
Too dry.
Yeah.
Too dry. For me, any beer really, you should want to have another one. With a Brut IPA, I'm like, God, thank God I finished that.
even an Imperial Stout, you're like, wow, this is amazing. I want to have it. I might not want to have it again tonight, but I want to come back and have it another night. So my turn then, unfortunately.
There we go. So in terms of why they are so hard to make, so the whole idea of the style is to create the paradox.
Yeah.
To taste the pale beer, but to see the dark beer.
Yeah.
So to achieve that's really hard because you have to introduce the grains that are going to create the dark appearance at some point. So the way in which we try and do that is, so you're going to mash the grains together at high temperature, and you're going to allow that to extract the sugar, the colour, the flavour over about an hour.
Right.
At that point, you're not going to have your dark grain involved. Then, right at the point when you're going to start transferring across to your kettle, you're going to put in some dark grain, typically something like Carafa 3, which is debittered, dehusked. So all you're really going to be getting from it is colour rather than the roasty kind of character.
Yeah.
You put that in right at the end, just before you transfer across into your kettle. So the water is flowing through that and the existing grain that you already had in there, and it's going to extract the colour, and in theory not the roast character. But it's hot water, you're essentially creating a tea through it. So you're still going to get a little bit of that roast character coming through.
I like the lacing. It looks wonderful. Doesn't it? The lacing's lovely. It does have a little bit of a roasted malt characteristic.
It's really hard to avoid that.
Yeah, but I think.
Means I won.
Oh, with the
Hey.
black.
There's a prize. You get to go to the toilet. So we've got a question here from Sally and Richard. Can you explain the idea behind the spider graph on the cans and how was it created?
Right, and perfectly, we've got a can here that doesn't have one on.
The 330s, we can't fit them on,
No,
unfortunately.
they don't fit on the 330s.
But basically,
I stand corrected. Ant did his job well.
they've all.
I'm going to follow your lead here, and I'm going to take this to the camera.
To the camera, yeah.
Right, so what we're talking about here is, I'm going to do that one first. This bit here, this bit here.
So close you can't
this
focus.
way of showing some data. So this is showing 6 different attributes of the beer. So how hoppy it is, how fruity it is, how sweet it is, the mouthfeel, so how thick is the feel in the mouth, how bitter it is, and how malty it is. And for each of those, we give it a rating out of 4. And it ends up creating this little spider web with an indication of the flavour. And it's supposed to help you guys, as the guys in the shop, looking at what's on the shelf and deciding, well, I like bitter beers, I like hoppy beers, I like fruity beers. You're supposed to be able to pick this up and go, yep, that looks like my kind of beer.
And visually, it's quite a good thing because one of our friends pointed out to us. He said, "I like the ones that look like a pint." And like, what do you mean? And he showed us. And one of the cans, the shape is like a pint, and he knows that profile is what he likes in the beer.
Is this can?
So if he sees it then on another can, he gives it a try because he's like, I know your other beers
really
look like
cool.
that, so I
That
tasted
is
it.
really cool.
So you don't need to read it. What we do is to mess with him. We change the order of them. I thought I liked them, but it tastes really fruity. Oh yeah.
But Wayne's just got me a really cool present for my birthday, which is Pete Brown, famous beer writer in the UK, has just released a book called Beers by Design, is that correct?
Yeah.
And one of the sections in there is kind of use of data on beer branding, where this prominently features. So yeah, we're honoured to have that in there.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I mean, Pete's on with us Tuesday night for the
is he?
Tuesday night
Cool.
Stone Crow Virtual Pub. We've got Pete Brown coming in Tuesday.
Oh, nice. So
He's talking about
We're
your
just
book.
here to do links.
Yeah, and that is the book that we were talking about. So yeah, there's that kind of
he's
link.
going to talk about
Good.
his book. Maybe somebody should tweet Pete and say we're talking about him on the live feeds. You might
I've got a
tune
lot
in.
of complaints regarding the sound.
Oh,
That's
right.
our fault because we didn't think things through very well, did we?
So should we maybe try and move this back a little bit and see if the directional mic.
It sounds alright, it's just when the heaters come on. That's
Is
all
it just when
Oh,
the
is it
heaters
just
on?
when the heaters
John?
come in?
come on, but we are freezing to death here.
I was wondering if we could use it as a microphone and then look like we're interviewing you.
No, you can hold them there, right there.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
we're not going to do that then.
It
Is that-
sounds great at the moment.
It sounds good, does it? Oh,
So-
you're
so yeah.
Did you, John?
So move it back. We better move it back
Amazing.
then.
Yeah,
So-
pull
so-
it back then.
So you tried it from
Move it
both
back
feet.
now.
It's all right. Move it back in.
Move the mic back, DMER. Move
So,
the mic back, okay.
For anyone who
Done.
wasn't getting the audio off camera, we've got John from Lord's Brewing in the background over there, who is also doing a little bit of QC. He's popped outside,
Yeah.
he's listened to
Checking
the
the
feed,
feeds.
and apparently as long as we don't have the heating on, the audio is good. So everybody's just going to pop a jumper on and we're going to carry on.
I'm already suited.
Yeah,
I've got a
enough of
hat
my
on.
Christmas
and-
jump. No, I'm going to go and put another day on. Jamie C, where does Brew York see itself in 5 years'
Good
time?
question. And that's a $5 super chat. Thank
No.
you.
Yeah, it is a good question, and if anyone can answer, please tell me. I think for one, myself and Lee will have more than a couple of days off on holiday in a row, and I think Sal and Polly will appreciate that.
Sorry.
Yeah, I think I don't know, to be honest with you. One of the things that's nice about what we've done so far is that we constantly push to make things better. We always want to keep improving on what we're doing. So if it's the tap room, which we love, this space, we always wanted to please everybody. We couldn't fit enough people in, so we looked for the next opportunity and we opened the beer hall next door so we could fit more people in and do something slightly different, but still keep the nice aspects of this versus the beer hall, and then people can move between them, and then we're always looking for other opportunities to do that. So people in cities like Leeds who've never, they come and support us at Leeds International, but haven't had the chance to come to our bar as much. We're opening the bar there to try and do that type of thing. And the same with the brewery. We're always trying to improve what we do here in terms of quality, in terms of variety, flavour, and then the new production brewery will give us a chance to do that even more and still bring out 100 new beers next year.
Would you, I know it's a long way away for you guys, but Cardiff's a nice city.
Yeah.
We'd love to see a Brew York in Cardiff.
The guys at Tiny Rebel, the bars in Cardiff, keep saying to us that we need to come down and do a tap takeover and event and stuff like that.
That
So.
would be amazing.
Come down, we'll host you.
Bare minimum, we can promise that.
Yeah.
It's hard to put a target on these things. We obviously very near the start had some targets, and we surpassed them very early on. And if you'd have said we'd have been sat here now, almost 5 years in, with
And we're meeting Simon and Mel from Real Ale Craft Beer. We'd be like,
two breweries, very close to having 5 bars. I'd have said you were talking shit.
Yeah.
I would never have expected us to be where we are right now. So as to where we'll be 5 years from now, hard to say.
What's I mean,
I've got a question though.
I'm going to go really quickly.
Quick, go on then.
Because I'll forget. I got a terrible memory. So an hour before, or an hour and a half before we were going on, we started having a little beer at the bar, and Lee, you were talking about like sorting out barcodes for the boxes and stuff. What's from when you went, right, we're going to open a brewery, what's the learning process been like with running 3 bars and running 2 breweries? What was that learning process been to be able to manage all of this?
The learning process has been an incredibly steep curve, and if we're completely honest, we were a little bit arrogant to launch ourselves into an industry that we perhaps didn't understand as well as we should. But we're great learners, so we've learned quickly, we've adapted, and I think we've done all right.
and then what we did is got a great team around us to then make us look good. So we basically. I was going to tell you this earlier before we went live, and it was quite interesting. So I was stood behind the bar, gathering glasses up, and when we started Brew York, we basically ran the brewery. So we brewed the beer during the day, packaged the beer, delivered the beer, processed all the sales, did all of that, and then we'd jump onto the bar in the evening and we'd alternate, and basically our partners and our friends and family would come and help us out, and we'd run the tap room on evenings and weekends, and we were just non-stop.
A lot of fun, actually.
And it was great.
It involved a lot of sleep. It was a lot of fun.
You got instant feedback. It was hard work, but it was really rewarding, and you kind of learn a lot all at once. And you soon realise that your time's not your time's not best spent doing everything. You're better off getting people who are better at that than you and getting them to focus on that. So we did that, and we got people in around us who were really good at those aspects of it, and then it meant we could slowly and reluctantly let go of different parts of it, and let people help us out a bit more. And it's taken a long time, but after about 5 years now, we're slowly letting go of aspects of the business that we shouldn't be. But exactly. It's something that we're passionate about.
This where it leads into my question from, I think it was Stan the Man. Apologies if it wasn't. Can you tell us the story of how the brewery came about? Where did you start, basically?
So that's a long story. We'll try and do the short version.
The long version, watch your feed later on your YouTube feed later, because we've done a bit of video about that outside. The short version is myself and Lee met lots of years back now on a friend's stag do in Germany, drinking lager and realising that it's not our type of thing. We love beer. Lager is a style of beer, but we love different types of beer in the UK. When they went to a friend's barbecue where I'd been doing some homebrew, took it to a friend's barbecue, Lee was like, wow, that tastes like beer you can buy in a shop, so how do I do that? So I showed him the basics of the type of brewing I was doing. Lee's a very competitive fella, so he then took it away and bought all the equipment and started doing that, and then we started entering competitions, got great results, and decided that we could probably make this work as a profession. And it kind of happened from that. So it was interesting, and feels like it was a couple of years back, but our guts and our grey hairs are telling us it was a lot more than a couple of years ago.
So fairly common story, I think, in the industry these days. A couple of homebrewers that got on well, made some beer together and turned it into a commercial thing. So not completely unique, but yeah, we're proud of our heritage all the same. So we have another question in here. How do keen homebrewers turn a hobby into a business? I kind of think we just did that.
Yeah.
So that was from Jack Lee. I think if you're passionate enough about it, and you keep kind of cracking at it and keep perfecting it, I would say enter as many competitions as you can. Try and get as much realistic feedback as you can. Don't listen to your friends. They're going to tell you it's brilliant. Make sure you've got proper judges giving you critique of your beer, and then act on whatever feedback they give you. And if they tell you it's brilliant, just follow your heart, man, and go for it.
Absolutely.
So we've unfortunately due to COVID, we haven't done it for a long time, but we host.
In the room as well.
Sorry.
So carry on, but we had a question in the room.
Yeah, we host York's Homebrew Club. So myself and Lee attended York's Homebrew Club across it, the original York Brewery many years ago. Unfortunately, York Brewery was, well, not unfortunately, fortunately, was bought by Black Sheep, and they're still brewing, but they're not in York
where
anymore.
you were going with that then.
So yeah, the Homebrew Club can't take place there anymore, so it takes place at our place. Pretty cool venue. We set the tables up in the brewing area, and the guys critique each other's beer. And it's really, really important, like Lee said, to get honest feedback. It's too easy to say, oh, that's nice, but what are you going to learn from that? You've got to learn if there's faults with your beer, and you've got to be able to take criticism to try and improve what you're doing. And don't get me wrong, if we do something wrong and someone tells us that, as a professional brewery, the gut instinct is, well, you're wrong, but you're not always wrong. And if enough people say that, you've got to learn from it, and you've got to improve on it and do something different. So,
did you have, and this is just a question that's just popped into my mind now. Initially, did you have confusion from York Brewery and Brew York?
we got
Like
sued.
I've said it a couple of times.
The very first letter that hit that doorstep over that way was from York Brewery.
All their solicitors anyway.
From their solicitors contesting our name. So we had to make some subtle changes. So we naively at first were called Brew York Brewery, which had the word York next to brewery. So we then had to change it to Brew York Craft Brewery.
That's
so we didn't
even
have the which is it's definitely better.
But yeah,
all names with the word craft in them.
That's sorry to pull you up in it. That's not quite correct. So we've never been called Brew York Brewery. We've always been Brew York Limited.
Right.
So it's always been Brew York. What we did wrong was we looked on social media and we were trying to find a unique handle across every platform. So we wanted Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, everything the same. And there wasn't a Brew York Brewery. Our now friend in New York has a social media tag called Brew York. Right. So we couldn't set up with Brew York, and we were like, oh well, the next best thing was Brew York Brewery. Didn't think anything of it. In our mind, hadn't even considered the fact it said York Brewery when you're looking at it on paper.
Right.
And then we're beavering away trying to get this place set up, and this letter lands, and we're like, what the hell are you talking about? Brew York sounds nothing like York Brewery. And then, then they sent the pictures of our social media, and it said Brew York Brewery. Shit, yes. When you look at it on paper, like, yeah, it does say, yeah. And we just held our hands up and contacted the guy and said, our cock up. We weren't trying to play off or anything like that. Our beers are completely different to what you guys do. How's about we changed that side of it? We remake all our business cards, everything that we'd done that had those social media on it. And in all fairness, after some pretty ridiculous discussions about why don't we call ourselves New York instead of Brew York.
Yeah, it was resolved amicably, and for years beyond that there was a charity beer festival held in their tap room, and our beer would always be there. So it's just a little hiccup at the start, which was us being a little bit naive with our social media handles.
And yeah, they were a bit corporate at the time, and they didn't realise it. So we got there in the end, and at least there's still a brewery in the city.
We seem to be like, no, here it is.
You have a beer.
Excellent.
So yeah, we
not to complain about that.
we're not doing too bad. We're still on the half an hour per beer time frame, but now is the exciting time because now we're getting on to Christmas. So Merry Christmas, everyone who's joining us.
I love this question. What's the worst bit about running a bar/brewery? Deirdre Quigley. That. Yeah. Definitely that.
So basically, what's exaggerated that or exacerbated that is the fact that we got a food offering. So we opened the beer. We opened the beer hall about a year after we opened the tap room, and the beer hall has a street food vendor in there, and it's amazing how busy you get during the day, and you could nip across the Tesco's and get a meal deal, or you could nip downstairs and get a reduced price chips and whatever we get from smoked meats and whatever. So it's amazing how much weight we both lost when we started the brewery, when we were doing everything before we opened, and then all of a sudden we opened it. Well, where did that come from? Lee's lost a bit of weight recently.
I would still not call myself slim though.
I think that would be the most challenging part of running my YouTube channel is the constant. I do a 6 mile a day walk.
Wow.
Every single day, well, for the 5 days, Monday to Friday, the weekend off, and I do a lot of weight training as well during the week. But it's still, the older I get, it creeps. It's creeping and creeping and creeping to the point where I think, do I just dial it back a bit? We put such a lot of effort into 2020. Do we just dial back the beers a little bit? But then again. Yeah.
I heard you say this on your channel the other week, and quite a few of your members joined in, and they basically, I can't remember what, because you. I don't know if you still are. We're going to do dry January.
I'm going to do.
You're not, are you, Mel? And
Mel's going to do the feeds. Yeah.
I think they talk. I think your followers talked you out a bit after a while, didn't they? Or are you still going to? Are you going to go back to?
Yeah, I have to.
Well, can you not just do alcohol-free beers for the month? And that.
Since then,
I think there's a lot of calories though in alcohol-free beers, though.
Since then, I've had 2 non-alcoholic beer companies come in and say, "Can we do a Tuesday night and a Friday night with you?" And I've kind of said yes, but then there's a part of me that just wants to.
That was a real reluctant yes, wasn't it? I said yes.
Only because. There's 2 reasons for it, and I've always been perfectly honest with the channel, and I think that's why people watch, is because we're both perfectly honest, as are you guys, I'm sure. It's not very interesting, is it? Non-alcoholic beer. It's not.
God.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons why we've taken so long to look at it, because
I struggle.
There is a huge demand for it in the market, but it's bloody hard to make a good alcohol-free beer, and it's also it's not that sexy, is it really?
No. Part of the I spoke to somebody about this on the way up.
I've got some great comments coming in for Lee. Culminating in a super chat from Joe Biden's Dentures. Has Lee ever sacked a city? I've had loads of comments about you being a Viking.
I thought sacking a city is something else.
Not in my current incarnation, but perhaps in a previous life.
If you think Lee's a Viking, you should see Ant behind the camera. He's like Lee's dad.
And
apart from the fact he's only 4 or 5 years older than me.
And hello to the beer hooligan who's tuned in. Hello to the beer hooligan.
That's how the
Lee looks like Thor.
With his tiny hands.
Oh, have you smelled this? Oh my god.
Yeah, we should.
Good point. We have
good show. So we do this a lot. Once we have a few beers in, we forget that we've moved on beers, and hence why we changed the beer logo. We are now, like we said, on the Christmas beers. So here we go. Starting off with Fairytale of Brew York. So huge on the nose. So Fairytale of Brew York is our annual Christmas beer. We bring it out every single year, but in a different incarnation every time. It's always a 4.9% stout, but what we try and do is mix up the flavours. We try and do different variations of it. First year was one of my little weird and wonderful ideas. Mine was an eggnog-inspired white stout. And it was really cool, actually. I'd love to bring that back again, but maybe not at Christmas. Well, no, when else would you drink eggnog?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a pretty cool beer. And then the year after that, testing your memory,
it was coffee and walnut.
Oh yeah, no, it was something else before coffee. No, it was pistachio. It was when we got all that
pistachio paste. That was
yeah, it was horrible.
It wasn't fun.
The beer was amazing, but
the cleaning.
It was so hard to get the pistachio flavour in, and so this pistachio paste was stupidly expensive, and the flavour didn't transfer from the paste into the beer.
We figured rather than it being a nut, if it was in a paste, then maybe it'd mix through the beer a bit better.
No,
it just went plump. at the bottom and just stuck there and blocked the tank.
Yeah, so it was fun, but it was a great beer. And then it was the walnut
And coffee one,
coffee.
which we're coming back to later.
So
Last
that
beer of the
beer,
night,
and then this one. Go on. What can you remember? What it is?
peanut, maple,
Vanilla,
pecan, and a hint of cinnamon. There we go.
I'm getting the pecan, the maple's in there.
So the nose on it's awesome. We get the same feedback every year, which we appreciate and we do work on. Which is, I love that beer. It'd be amazing if it was Imperial, and we can't only brew Imperial beer. So this is this.
Well, we'd like to.
So we're never we're always going to have the 4.9% version, which is Fairytale. So this year was great because and you guys will taste it later. We finally got to do Nightmare, which is the Imperial version of our Christmas beer. So
it smells like cinnamon roll. That. It does smell like with the Danish with the pecan nut. You know, the Danish pastry.
So this is a great example of a beer that gets better the warmer it gets. So we did say earlier to take the beer out of your fridge. Even still, ours is still a bit cold. So I'm just going to hold it like I'm praying and see if it warms up a little bit.
We all look like complete idiots doing this now.
It makes such a big difference. As soon as it warms up, all the flavours that are in there, so you'll taste them so much more. So temperature masks flavour. So when you drink a lager, you drink it super chilled because it's just cleaner, crisper, easier to drink. When you're drinking a dark beer, it's much better to drink at a warmer temperature because you can taste all the different flavours that are in there. So we'll continue praying to the dark beer god. And then,
so when people sell you these extra cold versions of beer, what they're basically saying to you is, we've tried to kill as much of the flavour as we can, so it tastes as bland as it possibly can for you.
And I kind of get that with lager, but extra cold Guinness, what's the point in that? Guinness tastes nice, but why make it cold?
If it's a dark beer, of course it's going to be better warmer.
But extra cold, why would you do that?
Disagree. I don't get Guinness.
Yeah.
And I maybe we shouldn't touch on the subject too much, but I just don't get it. It doesn't seem like it's made with roasted malt anymore.
I just class it as a great wedding beer. As in, you're going to a wedding, there's not much else you can drink, so you're going to drink something that's Guinness.
We have a question in the audience, which reminds me, we didn't ask the other question earlier, did we? So I'll come to you in a second.
Forgot about it.
Sorry, John.
Can someone just turn the camera towards the...
Anyway, you'll have just really annoyed my wife back there. Her favourite drink is Guinness.
No, it's nice, Brass Castle.
Oh no, it's Bad Kitty by Brass Castle is her favourite. Her second favourite,
Tom Coco. And then her third favourite Guinness.
No, she doesn't do lactose anymore. And we use a lot of lactose.
Oh, sorry, you guys are up for your question now. The moment's passed, but... Yeah, sorry, go on.
The question was, going back to when you were homebrewers, did you ever try and get any of your homebrew through an actual book to sell it? Or was it just taken into competition?
We did the next best thing, which was...
sorry to interrupt, but we won't have the audio there, so we need to repeat the question.
Oh, yeah,
first.
sorry, yeah.
So we've been asked when we were homebrewers, did we ever attempt to sell any of our homebrew through the pubs? So unfortunately, legally, you're not permitted to do that
because of duty.
So I think the nearest win and I got was a friend's wedding when we were invited to brew the beer for their wedding, and then that beer was gifted to them, not being sold, so we were able to get around that.
So they basically gave it away to their guests. I'm sure the venue probably charged them a corkage for it anyway. But that was the first ever outing of Brew York to be. So it wasn't a combined effort. We didn't brew them together. Lee did 2 beers, I did 2 beers. So they had 4 homebrew beers for sale at their wedding. But they can definitely claim and tell people that they were the first ever Brew York customers. So Viking DNA was one of the beers that they got. It wasn't called Viking DNA at the time, but and probably a variant of Big Eagle.
We got a £2 super chat from Jack Millwood, and he's saying the £2 super chat, Slipknot jumper made me do this.
Oh,
the £2 super chat.
Oh, nice one, nice one.
I thought there was that thing that Lee's got to do later on. I don't know what.
Love it.
Yeah, brilliant.
And somebody's also said, is the Viking Centre just your own personal man cave?
It's funny you should say that, because the Jorvik Viking Centre, if anyone's heard of it or been to it, is a museum, a living museum where you go in, it smells of horse shit, and they have like interactive characters while you go around. It was built in this building here.
Was it?
So before we had this building, it was leased by York Archaeological Trust, and they stored artefacts here. But they also built the original installation. Unfortunately, not the one that's currently
probably
there,
not.
because it flooded and had to all be rebuilt.
Yeah.
So
Did they
basically,
accidentally leave any artifacts?
oh yeah. So basically, the reason we did Viking DNA was because we were a nod to the heritage that this building was used for the Viking Centre. So Viking DNA name came from that. When we were cleaning some of the areas behind us, I remember finding this weird like cardboard thing, and I got a screwdriver, poked it out the gap, pulled it out. And it was a chocolate gift set from the York Viking Centre.
And it had a best before of like 1980 something.
It was ridiculous. And it tasted horrible as well. It gave me the shits. So I didn't eat it.
Did you put it back in the wall?
I should have done.
Put it back in the wall. Because we sanded the last floorboards to sand in our daughter's bedroom. We did this year. And stuff between broken floorboards was this newspaper, and it was.
We were really excited, weren't we? Like, oh my god!
Found
This is
a finger
gonna
in there, chopped off
It's
finger.
going to be like.
So we found like a time capsule
Our
down
house
there.
was built in 1893.
Yeah.
So we were
Wow,
like, oh
wow.
my
This is
god!
going to be a great artifact of it. And the paper was just a pastry model from
1983.
1983.
Is it pinned on the wall now? It's
So we
Stone the Crows. Did you say that when you saw it?
Stone the Crows. I said Stone the Crows when we googled what she looked like now. So we put the paper back as it was, and we put it back in the floor.
For whoever comes along next.
Yeah, the floorboards are
Bad
still
choice of
sanded,
words.
so it's all there. But we just wanted to leave it because we thought, it's quite a funny thing. If that paper lasts for another 50, 60 years, somebody else is going to.
The generation after
Yeah.
us isn't even going to know what page 3
And
is.
they'll be visiting their
I don't know what
gravestone.
newspaper is.
Well, yeah, that too, yeah. We did have another question in the room. John, you had something you wanted to ask? Brilliant. Is that, you just lined up to do that, didn't
No, I
you?
didn't. I really had a good one. If you all hold your glasses like you did before, can you explain why you did that?
Oh, you know when you were in the bath and you can squirt.
No, but if you do it now, and then if you say, "Dear Lord's Brewing, can you be with us tonight?"
Yeah, dear Lord's Brewing, can you be with us today? You need to pan the camera to explain that one.
Yeah,
So we
go
do
on.
have another brewery in the house tonight.
Give us a wave, John.
So it's hard work, this brewing lark, isn't it?
It's flipping hard work. Yeah.
Got to obviously deliver beer, then drink beer. It's all business related, but it's hard work.
It's completely business related, and it's been a real. I mean, I've taken one for the team. If you're watching any of the Lord Brewing,
Sorry, run a microphone. Oh, we can.
I've taken one for the team for you boys. And I'm just here drinking beer.
John,
Well,
have you
someone's
drank them
gotta
in
do
the
it,
right
eh?
order? Have you drank them in the right order tonight?
Yeah, I've just drunk. I've just noticed that I've drunk everything before everybody else.
Because Simon Wood says, "Wait for the dreams of New York." He opened it in the wrong order today.
Oh, he's already.
Yeah, but he says.
Well, that's the one I'm
amazing
looking
beer.
forward to the most.
Yeah.
That's going to be the highlight of this for me.
That's next, so you don't need to wait too long. Maybe another 15 minutes, and you might get to try it.
Yep. I'm needing to catch up. I really am.
I'm thinking that I'm going to start winning this pea competition by going as many times as possible.
I'm okay now. Anyway, let's not get into that. So next question. Can you do a Fairytale of Brew York candle? Peter Riley again. I'm not sure how that would work. I guess we pass that one over to our marketing manager, Nads. Right.
I haven't had it, so it's really good.
Where did you get the inspiration?
Oh, it's inspiration.
Inspiration for
Inspo. It's
Inspo.
London lingo. I don't understand it.
For the Christmas beers. Are they different each year? My first live tasting, great experience. That's Stephen Botham. Cheers, Stephen. Nice to have you on board.
Yeah. Cheers for the question. 100%. So things every year. There's different things that make you feel a bit more Christmassy, and we try to look back at what we think of Christmas, what flavours we think of, and see if there's anything that we can capture in it, as well as what's new, what's interesting, what are people going to want to taste in a beer, and also you say Nana Mac.
Yeah, but also without trying to do the generic Christmas thing. Let's take one of our core range and we'll put some nutmeg and cinnamon in it, and we'll call it a Christmas beer. Yeah, let's not do that. So no, every year we do try and do something original, and like Wayne says, it has to be something that we associate with Christmas from the past. And the first one we did was Wayne had a strong association with eggnog at Christmas.
Yeah.
So we did a white stout. So white, and it got the roast character from using coffee beans.
Coffee beans, yeah, it was cool.
And then we actually put some wood infused in bourbon into the tank.
Exactly, bourbon chips, and it was hard. We did suspend them in.
We suspended that. We had them in a bag,
in muslin bags,
and then they were suspended inside the vessel, and then it was anchored at the top of the vessel.
Yeah.
But then Wayne got frustrated that it wasn't taking up the flavour quickly enough.
Yeah.
So he opened the bag, poured it all in, not thinking about how do you get big sticks of wood that are like this out of a vessel that has a 1.5 inch outlet at the bottom.
Oh, right.
So
you have to get
the way
the litter picker.
No, the way we
send
answer
Lee
that
into the
question
vessel.
is
These tiny vessels.
someone like me has to climb inside it and get it out. And me being an idiot, forgot to turn the cooling system off. So I was in there with my back wedged against the wall, with my legs up like that, trying to reach down to get all these bits of it. Down there. Meanwhile, I've got glycol at -4 degrees on my back.
I think we should maybe get an image of that little tiny manhole, and then Lee stood next to it to see how it works.
Maybe we do that there. But these vessels really are small, and I think Lee of 2020 would not fit in one of them. Whereas Lee of 2016 did.
Yeah, looking at them now, I mean, at the time they looked massive, but yeah.
I've got a question from Pam. Where we are right now, is this going to be a bar that anyone can visit, or is it just for guests of a brewery?
Oh, this 100% is a bar. So outside of COVID times, this bar is open evenings and weekends. When the brewery moves up to the main production site, we're going to look at the hours and see what we can do to open it more. But yeah, this is open evenings and weekends. It's unrecognisable now as what it looks like normally. There's furniture everywhere. You can come in. It's a tap room experience next to the vessels, and then you just cut through next door. There's a beer hall with 40 different beers on. There's food vendors. It's a pretty cool space.
Yeah, between the two venues, we have over 60 unique beers available, and then out that back door over there is a Riverside Beer Garden.
Oh yeah,
So it's a pretty unique venue. To blow our own trumpet, I would say we have one of the best beer hall tap rooms in the UK.
It is fantastic, and of course, you've got to watch the video we recorded out on the balcony. One question going back, maybe not a question, but just a conversation, going back to Christmas beers. If you go to places like Norway, Sweden, Denmark,
you mean like remember when we could travel?
Yeah. Remember when we could travel? They take their Christmas beers so seriously. They really do. They'll brew Julals and Jule beers, and even in Norway they have to brew it by law. They have to brew Christmas beer by law if they're a brewery.
That's brilliant. I love that.
And it's called a Jule. Basically, it goes right the way back to when some kind of king was in charge of Norway, and it's something to do with the farmland. They could either give up so much of their stock of sheep and pigs and whatever a year to the king if they owned a farm, or they could brew a beer at Christmas and give over a lot of their beer. So they all decided to brew this Jule beer.
So it's brewed as kind of a tribute,
like a tribute, and it would be handed to the king. And if you're from Norway or Sweden or Denmark, and I've got that completely wrong,
Give us the info.
then please give us the info. But
I think we'll soon find out.
it is something to do. Christmas beers are really big in the Scandinavian countries.
I've got some super chats, by the way.
Oh, yeah, go.
Joe Biden's Dentures, $2 super chat. Brew York lads, what's your favourite American beers?
No, I've seen some of your American beers.
Favourite American beers? I mean, one I don't know if I'm allowed to say anymore because they did sell out, but I do love like Goose Island Bourbon County. You can't ignore the fact that it is incredible beer, and it really is the yardstick for if you intend to put beer in a barrel what you aspire
Yeah.
to achieve is the standard that Goose Island created. So definitely that. American beers. There's one that's probably not so well known here. Hudson Valley, New York State. They brew sour, pastry sour IPAs. Lots of fruit, lots of weird flavour combinations.
Okay.
So with it being weird, that appeals to me.
Yeah.
So I kind of like the stuff that they do. And then there's all the hype stuff like your Hill Farmstead and
Yeah.
Trillium and all that kind of stuff, which is amazing. But I think probably Hudson Valley, Jester King, Jolly Pumpkin because I like the sour side of things.
Yeah.
Maybe those kind of things. So they do amazing stuff out there, and they kind of set the path for us. And I think we are now attempting to do it as Brew York, what many of them have done, where they've set out and they've done more mainstream type beers, and then that's allowed them to have the income to be able to do the more adventurous stuff.
Of course.
Like the barrel aged beers and the soured beers, which we aim to do next.
For you, Lee, what is your favourite style of beer? What's your favourite style?
Oh, wow.
The one with alcohol.
Yeah.
That's a super hard question to answer. I don't think I can nail one style.
It's mood.
It's absolutely mood. The thing I probably get the most enjoyment out of is Imperial Stouts, but you can't drink them from breakfast till the evening.
Breakfast stout instead.
I got a follow-on question, mind you, from the we're just talking about American breweries and how fantastic, we all look to that. Do you think we'll ever have the American hype here in the UK, where people are literally queuing for miles around the block?
It's their distribution model that creates that. So
right.
they have a 3-tier distribution system in the US, which means you might well have a brewery there, and there might be a restaurant there, but you can't sell to that restaurant. You have to have a contract with a distributor who then can sell your beer to that restaurant. So it's really hard unless you're selling direct to the public to be able to get your beer out there. And with these distribution companies, you have to sign lifetime contracts. So once you've signed up to them, they are the only people permitted to sell your beer in state A or state B.
How does that sound, John?
That sucks.
It really does so.
The closest we'll ever get to what they've been doing is what we were like in lockdown, where a lot more people buy direct from the brewery because of there was nowhere else to get the beer. But it's going to change again. People will still continue to buy from breweries online, but in much smaller volumes, and then they'll go back to what they used to know. And there's all sorts of bits and pieces. We were in America a couple of years back. We were fortunate enough to go there for a beer festival, and we were in Bissell Brothers, in Portland, Maine, and they were showing us the can of line, showing us everything else, and then it was about 11:45, and we went into the tap room. They got us a beer. It wasn't open to the public until 12. As soon as it opened, the queue of people just formed outside, and one after each came in, case of beer, case of the freshly canned beer, walked out, case of freshly
I'll
canned
have a slab of that, and I'll have a slab of that.
The beer that they just canned, the whole
as soon as they canned it,
just
it's gone.
disappeared, gone.
So why can't that happen here in terms of it? We are passionate about being here.
Pubs,
We really are.
People want to go and socialise and drink, and like you said, our distribution model is completely different, where we can sell directly to pubs.
We don't have the barriers to market that they have over there.
Right.
So for the consumer, that is the easiest way for them to get that brewery's beer.
Is to turn up at the brewery.
Yeah.
Right, I see.
On the plus side, not the plus side, the little notch on our belt that we got on that festival was as soon as this beer festival started, it was literally opposite their brewery, and they'd just canned that beer the day before, and they were pouring that beer fresh on keg at the festival. We were pouring Imperial Toncoco at that festival. Guess what the first beer to kick was at the festival? So that freshly batched beer, that was the second beer to kick behind the beer.
Well, I suppose they're used to their stuff. Ours is slightly more novel.
And plus,
Go on,
Tonka's illegal over there. So
Mel's got
So I've
another one.
got a quick super chat from Hazy Hayes. Stone Crows Brew York. Enjoyed every beer so far.
Yes. So Hazy Hayes has bought the 6-pack. Well
oh,
done,
nice.
Hazy
Thank
Hayes.
you. Cheers.
Thank
for
you.
your support.
So question from Faye. I really like the designs on the can. How do you come up with the ideas?
We work with a local small independent design company called United by Design.
Right.
Owen and the team regularly tune into this. So, evening, Owen.
Hello.
Yep.
And we've used them from the start, 5 and a bit years ago. In terms of how we land each design, we create a brief, and they usually go, "You want us to do what?" And then eventually we end up with a design, and we can't fault their work. The work's incredible.
Yeah.
It's been a real privilege to work with someone who is local and has got the level of recognition that it's got. They've got international design awards for the work they've done for us.
Brilliant. Yeah. No, it's great.
Yeah, it is really good.
We live in a world today where we walk into a bottle shop or a can shop these days, and there's a massive array of cans. When your beer can stand out, if you've got 3 or 4 on the shelf, when it can stand out, it makes a massive difference in it. So if you've got something like a design award for your beers, and it does stand out, because I use the bottle shop in Penarth. You won't know it, but I've always bought your beer from Penarth. If you're watching Nat, hi Nat from Australia, but it stands out. It really does.
And that's something we
The McKenna stuff does. Your stuff does.
we both thought about that probably 5.5 years ago when we were first thinking about how this could look. And at that point in time, it was starting to get to be a congested craft scene. Not like it is now.
Yeah.
But at that point in time, it was getting busy, and you had to do something to stand out.
Yeah.
So we said, well, we're going to have to make some serious effort here. We're going to have to spend some money to make sure we've got something that stands out on the shelf. Because having good product alone was not going to be enough.
No, it's not enough.
You have to get the beer in the hand.
It was a conversation we had earlier, wasn't it? It's the key concepts of our business. So obviously off camera, we said that it doesn't matter how good your beer is if no one drinks it. So that's the first thing.
Got to get it out there.
So yeah, you could make the best beer in the world, but if no one's drinking it, it doesn't matter, does it? So we knew that. Well, we didn't know. We felt confident that our beer was good enough to start progressing in the industry, but we needed other elements. We needed people to drink it, and we felt that the 2 best ways for people to try our beer was to make sure the branding was strong, so people picked it up and then tried it, and we had a great location for people to come in and try it themselves in person. So they were the concepts, and then we took it from there. And thankfully, you guys tried our beer, liked it, and then gave us the support. So it was thank you for that.
To the over 300 people we got watching, please check out Brew York Beer's YouTube channel. They're doing a dual stream tonight with us. Go and subscribe to them. It's been an amazing couple of days. It really has.
Thank you.
Thank you again for the plug.
My first time in York. I've never been before.
I hope you'll be back.
Wanted to go to York, of course. Got here, loved every minute of it. Loved it.
It's a great city. It's even better when there's less restrictions on, but it is a great city, and hopefully oh no, it's not. the bits you've seen have been good.
Yeah, the bits we can see have been.
Tell the guys where you've been to tonight. You've been to the oldest pub in York.
Yes, we have.
So that was
The Old Star
the Old Star Inn.
Yeah.
And then
It was quite cold.
I forgot to ask,
in
did you have a pint of Old Peculiar while you were in there?
Yes, I did.
That's what you have to drink while you're in there.
Yeah. I'll have one of them.
Yeah.
And then the other places you went to House of Trembling Madness.
We did.
Managed to get into the
The
taxidermy.
small one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one with the taxidermy on the walls.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've
kind
got
of
some
miniature,
photos which I'll share.
Old style drinking hall type thing.
Yeah, it's lovely.
And then Market Cat, the Thornbridge pub as well.
We
So,
went in there, bought a pot pie.
so you're pretty full after all these meals. You've been having substantial meals and
many substantial meals. We didn't get a beer in the one with the taxidermy.
Oh, Trembling Madness. You just had
No.
a look round.
Are we just looking in
Yeah.
the shop?
We just we sat down, everything, but unfortunately, the meals were too substantial for what we already had.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we must not get into what we think about these regulations right now.
I've actually got some more beer super chats here.
Yep.
One from Alan Mead, £2 super chat. Brew York lads, what's your favourite Irish brewery?
White Hag.
I've got to be honest, we don't see that much Irish beer. Not in the. Not
Just
recently.
agree with what I said.
No, there are other breweries. Whiplash.
Oh, yeah. Good call.
I've got another one.
Boundary, yeah. Yeah.
From Craig, so it's a £4.99 super chat. Evening everyone, I remember meeting Brew York early in the Glen Affric days at the MTB
Meet the
in,
brewer.
Yeah.
uh,
Sorry, where would that be?
in Dead Crafty
Oh, yeah.
in Liverpool.
Oh, in Liverpool.
Yeah. So that was.
Ace beer then and has only got better.
Thank you. No, it was a pretty cool event that. So Dead Crafty's a really cool bar in Liverpool. The guys who run it come in and see us all the time. So they
Gaz and Vicky?
yeah, they came down to our New Year's Eve party a couple of times. But yeah, it was a really interesting event. So we did the Meet the Brewer. We went through 6 beers. I can't remember, 4 or 6 beers. It was really cool. And that was where we met the Top Red Brewing guys.
So they
initially.
weren't a brewery there, but one of the guys working behind the bar was talking about his plans to form a brewery, and subsequently has, and that's Top Rope Brewing.
And I'm not sure, you might correct me if I'm wrong, sorry, but I don't know if you guys at Glen Affric had set up at that point, or you were just setting up. I remember having a conversation. I think it was about just setting up. But yeah, so we obviously see your beers in quite a few places now. Still haven't had the
Glen Affric.
yeah. So I unfortunately still haven't tasted any, but I've seen you at festivals and things like that. So I'll make sure I get a few beers and try them.
Well, I was there in March. Are they on your camera or my camera?
Must be yours because the question came in from yours.
It
Must
was
be a-
from Craig.
Craig, Glen Affric, yeah. I was up at Glen Affric in March this year.
Oh, you were wearing the t-shirt earlier.
I was wearing my hoodie earlier, yeah. And it's very similar to this, where you walk through a door, very American setup. You see the bar, you've got the tanks in the background. Brilliant place, really lovely place. And it was the last time I got out. So it's amazing to have Craig on tonight. I'm going to wave to Craig because the last time I went out was March, and now we ventured back out in December.
Yeah, because the Liverpool Ciba Beer X.
Because I went to Ciba X. We brewed a beer then with Glen Affric the next day, and then that was it.
Yeah,
that was the last time we left the kitchen. It's been a long. Normally we fly around all different countries and
get to see all sorts going on.
Yeah, and now here we are in December, a couple of weeks out from Christmas, and we're here.
Well, thanks for coming out. It's good to have you guys coming up and see us.
I'm
No,
pleased.
thank you for inviting us. It's really damn cool.
So anyone who's observant amongst the viewers might have noticed that our drinks have turned pretty pink.
Yeah.
We've got another beer. So this is Lee's favourite. So this is Dreams of Brew York. So a little bit different. So normally Christmas beers we go for the dark styles. This year a pastry sour. So pastry meaning bit of lactose, bit of vanilla in there, so it's more like a dessert. But this is really cool style. So
Can we all pan to Mel's face while she
pulls the
come on,
face.
come on, let's pan to Mel's
Okay.
face. Here we go.
It's more the second
Just
sip.
think about it, it's fruit on top of it.
She loves it. No, she loves it.
But it's the first one will give you the tart tanginess,
Yeah.
and then you go back, and then the vanilla kicks in, the lactose kicks in, and it's you're like, wow,
Good.
that's actually, and then you go back and drink more and more.
Can you line me another one up? Because I'm definitely going to need to.
And we might have to monitor the mics, but I think we might need the heating on for a little boost. Do you reckon?
Yeah.
So please let us know. Let us know.
It doesn't just affect Mel then.
Let us know on the live
Yeah,
stream.
why don't you go Stoner Crow?
if the heating interferes with the microphone
wow.
too much, please let us know as soon as possible
That is
on the
me
live
tears
stream.
up.
So we're just going to chuck the heating on for a little bit. To
Tears
boost
to
us. It's flickering, isn't it?
Lactose?
Yeah.
Yep.
Lactose, vanilla.
Lots of all of that.
Oh, yeah.
Blueberry, which is a bit of a nemesis. I love it in the beer, but it's so expensive. My accountant kicks in.
So yeah, blueberry, cranberry. What makes it pastry is the use of lots of oats, lactose, maltodextrin, which is the stuff they make candy floss with.
That is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. It's almost like one of those slush type.
Oh yes,
Slush puppy.
Like a slush puppy type.
I mean, that style would be incredible.
oh,
So it's one of the things we do. So this beer is an amped up version of a beer we brew called Katy Berry. So Katy Berry is 5%. Is it 5%? 4.5%. Blueberry pastry sour. We brought it out a couple of years ago at London Craft Beer Festival, and then we put it in our slushy machine. Our basically freeze it, and then a bit of sugar syrups in there to sweeten up a little bit more, and then you top your beer with it. It's awesome.
brilliant.
Or you just have a glass of that.
Yeah. Can I ask Lee about this? You love your sour beers. You love your Belgian beers. I've been to Cantillon and all these wonderful places. I haven't been to Three Fontaine, but I've been to Cantillon. This seems very influenced by your love of Belgian beer.
I mean, certainly, I love Creeks, which is a Belgian style, which is a lambic that's been a blend of a 1 and a 3-year-old sour beer, which for the last year of its life has then been on lots of macerated sour cherries. And I think that does have a lot of kind of characteristics of a Creek.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Can you get that super Stout, Simon?
Oh yeah, sorry if I can quickly get this one. Travis in Australia,
Travis.
$7.99 Australian dollars super chat. What are the constraints that restrict internationally based customers buy your beer online?
Beer duty in the UK. So our government charges a ridiculous amount of beer. Every time we sell a pint of beer in the UK, we have to pay tax to the government. The government makes more money in tax from us than we make profit. Hands down, far more money than we would.
And they get to put adverts on the telly telling you how bad adverts
Yeah, exactly. Don't come to the pub. Don't come to the pub. The duty in the UK. So to sell beer to a consumer in another country typically means we'd have to pay the duty in the UK. We'd have to ship it to you, and then you'd have to pay your local duty in the country you come from. So it'll just make it completely.
Combined with
unappealing.
what's going to be exorbitant shipping costs, it's just going to make it restrictively expensive.
Just talking about shipping and everything that's going on in the world, because we had an early night last night because we wanted to come here fresh-faced. We watched a bit of the news on the telly, and there was all that kind of Brexit news. Is sorry to get political.
All that happy
and
stuff.
all that happy stuff. Yeah, I dreamt all night last night. Is it going to affect you in any way, Brexit? It was just it's just one very small political question that's just hit my mind.
Yes, it will. I mean, some of our raw materials come from outside of the UK.
Right.
All of our US hops are imported through Belgium.
Right.
So yes, it's a little bit of a concern that we might potentially be heading towards a no-deal Brexit, and we might have to pay 10 to 30% import taxes or tariffs on top of what we've got. Speak a bit louder, please. I don't go any louder than this. I'm already really loud.
You do. Every time you answer the phone, I can't hear anything.
So yeah, the import tariffs are concerned. We make a lot of beers with fruit in, and unfortunately, almost all of the fruit that we use comes from outside the UK.
Right.
Fruit to go in a beer has to be aseptically prepared, which means it has to be prepared in a way where any bacterial content in it has been destroyed.
Yeah.
Most of that in Europe occurs in Germany.
Right.
Potentially we're looking at 10 to 30% premium on all of our fruit coming in.
Right.
So yeah, undoubtedly it's going to affect us, and I'm sorry guys, it might eventually affect you because
Yeah.
that would turn a profitable beer into a loss-making beer.
And
So
yeah.
we're probably going to have to up the price on certain things if we end up in that position, which is looking a little bit likely right now.
So a little bit, well, changing the subject a little
Exactly.
bit.
Yeah, let's do that. It was only a question
before-
because it's on
enough
in the
politics.
news. Yeah, it's in the news.
So I think Liam's got a question over there. If you want to pan the camera to him.
Have you thought about making a beer with fish?
Sorry. Just pan the camera. We'll have to find out. I'll say the question if you pan the camera around. So Liam wants to know. Did you say, like you say, Liam? Have we thought about putting fish in a beer? Isinglass.
No, so we've definitely not thought about making a beer with fish. So there are breweries that have gone before us that have made beers with langoustine.
Well, take oyster stouts.
Actually, oyster stouts
Yeah,
are quite
yeah,
nice.
yeah.
So traditionally there would be oysters that would go into the boil, which gave a certain savoury and salty character to the beer.
Yeah.
And then they're pretty good.
So before the random question, what I was going to say is, by the way, guys, we've mentioned we're drinking Dreams of Brew York. We haven't told you what fruit's in this beer. So Dreams of Brew York is a pastry sour. We've mentioned that a few times. It's got it's got cranberry, the Christmas
That's the
thing.
seasonal bit. Cranberry.
Blueberry, which I mentioned, which is a bit
Yeah.
expensive bit, and then it's
you did
actually
mention that
it's
bit.
got a pinch of cinnamon, hasn't it?
Yeah.
What's the ABV? It's cinnamon.
Oh yeah, you tell us you tell us the ABV.
Well, it's not.
What does it taste like?
It tastes like under 5, I would say.
6.5.
It's not boozy. Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
You didn't make him wait that long for that, did you? She tells you guess. Fine. No, 6.5.
I get too excited, I'm sorry.
Yeah, but it's not boozy at all, is it? There's no.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
It's one of those.
lovely.
Yeah, exactly. The ones that mask it pretty well.
I would say what we would refer to as dangerous beers are almost a speciality for us.
So,
I think we're
Nice
pretty good at
dangerous
masking
beer.
alcohol.
the reason why we all panned to Mel earlier with the sour beer was because we live in a town called Barry in South Wales, and we couldn't even dream about having a craft beer bar in Barry for years and years and years.
Yeah,
And then-
that's true.
We had this waterfront development, and everything started becoming a bit trendy over
Hipster.
there. And a little bit hipster.
Yeah.
And then they built this container.
Lots of beards.
Yeah. And then they built this container pack, and on the ground floor of that container pack, a craft bar called Craft Republic opened. And we were really excited, so we booked in for 2 hours, as you do these days. And myself, a retired blogger, Chris Relaylem 140, and his wife, we convinced Mel to try a sour beer, and that beer was your Barbara Streisand. And rhubarb Streisand. And
Pardon me.
the only way we got Mel to try this was we got the owner over of the bar, brand new, really excited. You know, he got his bar going, and we said, "Can you explain this sour beer?" And he just said, "Strawberry laces."
No, we didn't.
What did he say?
Rhubarb and custards.
Rhubarb and I'm sure he said strawberry laces as well. Or was that our friends who may have said
which
that?
way
That was
different
our
beer?
friends maybe. who
When
said that.
was this? Was this?
September.
Oh yeah. I was going to say because
September.
we did and we talked about earlier. We do 3 variants. So rhubarb Streisand was our original rhubarb custard. What do we call it? Ice cream pale. Milkshake pale. Sorry. And then we brought out the extra custard version where we liked the beer. It was selling pretty well. Actually, it was going nuts. People were. It was selling out first at beer festivals. People were going nuts, and we were like, well, we like it, but what could we do to make it more like those sweets? More custard.
More custard.
I think
So-
I tweeted you. Did you not get my tweet?
Nadia,
Well,
did you get a tweet?
It was back in
Did you
September.
get my tweet?
Back in September. But anyway,
Oh, I mean, I'm dead. It's not Nadia's fault. It's Sam's fault.
but going just to, just to finish off on this story, Mel did the same first taste, and then just drank the rest
It's
down
quite
in
mellow.
15
Rhubarb
minutes.
Streisand's much more mellow. This one is a proper cheap.
Yeah, where it hurts right at the
Yeah.
jaw bit there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
whenever I'm doing brewery tours or tastings and I'm trying to acclimatise people to sours, I say,
Keep going.
like, no, it's like whiskey. So if it's your first whiskey of the day, you might have the finest 50-year-old single malt. Still going to burn a bit.
Yeah.
If it's your first of the day.
Yeah.
It's not going to be the best on the first reception, but just allow that to kind of die away, take the second taste, and get your appreciation from that bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now I'm drinking this now, and I'm picking up the vanilla.
You know, you
I'm
have
wondering when Luke's
Yeah.
going to have my next one lined up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking the same.
So you've got this one on keg, Lee, for Christmas.
Yeah, and it's hopped
How
up.
do we go about, getting one of them as well?
Well, this is the real challenge for us because there's a question in here earlier about volumes of Christmas beers. So our Christmas beers went nuts this year, which is amazing, and more than we anticipated. So we sold out of our Christmas beers way in advance of Christmas. And that poses a challenge because there's not a long time to then rebrew and then try and get more cans.
Yeah.
So we knew we couldn't get the cans in time, but we've got a huge problem in that we have kegs and casks of these beers and no pubs are open. So who's buying them off us? And
So I'm just going to take them all home and drink.
yeah, so we have these, and thankfully
Can't
when we
waste it.
specials like Dreams of Brew York and Nightmare. Oh, I thought you were taking my beer away, but he's just topping it up.
getting your top.
Hey. So those type of beers we aren't going to lose, but the something like Fairytale where we brew a big volume of it, we're unfortunately going to be in a position where we have to actually pour a lot of that down the drain by the end of Christmas because pubs don't buy cask beer unless customers are coming in. So it's ridiculous, but unfortunately there's nothing we can do about that. We can't convert a cask beer back into a canned beer.
No, yeah, of course.
So yeah, canned beer sold out rapidly, cask beer might have to go down the drain, which is such a shame.
It's a real shame.
It is.
And a lot of people say, well, why don't you let us drink it? Well, we would let you drink it, but if we let the public drink it, we then have to pay the tax man more money. So it's actually cheaper to pour it down the drain than it is to let the customers drink it.
Unfortunately, as it stands, it looks like we're going to be putting about 200 casks down the drain.
No.
Not of that one beer, but
Not of the one beer, but
Still, 200, that's a heck of a lot.
it's a lot of a lot of time, money, effort, and it's just such a shame because it didn't need to be that way. The pubs aren't the cause for all this, but they seem to be punished for it.
Yeah.
It's amazing. This now bottle shop, we got a Sankey. We got a Sankey fitting on this a poly keg thing. It was Sankey keg, and
do we have any Fairytale in Sankey? Is that the question?
well, no.
Do you have any of this in Sankey?
No, my
Probably.
question
Lee's
is-
probably got it all at his house.
no, that would be key keg. That one. Oh no, possibly.
Well, we have another fitting. We have
Will it
what's the
work?
other
So
fitting?
you've got a key keg fitting, and then you've got a Sankey as well.
I've got
So
the
one
two.
keg will take, it actually will do a key keg and a Sankey at the same time.
Right, well there you
Keg of
go.
each.
So
Tap it up for one of them then.
our
I'd
craft
love
beer
that.
bar,
That's a mistake.
we mentioned this to them. We were there 2 weeks ago, wasn't it? And they said we are now at we can sell kegs to the public. So we were looking to buy a keg.
Well, actually, on your way back on the train, one keg in each hand,
Yeah,
you'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
Rolling it to the train.
Changing trains at different
Should I
stations.
could strap one on Simon's back as well? It'll be fine.
I remember on the odd occasion when we packaged something really late, we've had to take kegs on the train.
Meet the brewer.
Meet the brewer or beer festivals and so forth. And people look at you like you're a terrorist.
A rucksack with this big device in the back of it. But yeah, we actually have quite a few questions we haven't got anywhere near. Have you guys got any sponsor posts?
No.
Okay,
no.
go on.
We'll go with this one then, which is quite apt actually, yeah. Any chili beers on the cards? Jalapenos maybe, Adrian Cotton. So,
Chili, yes.
as we mentioned earlier, we've just looked at the brewing calendar for next year, and one of the beers we intend to release early in the year, I can't remember if it's January or February, is the chocolate chili stout. Aiming around the 5%, slightly under 5% mark. Our new head brewer Matt's going to be working on the recipe for that one. So yeah, can't tell you any more, but yes, something is coming soon.
Brilliant.
So another one. Do you think that COVID will lead to long-term changes in the UK beer market?
That's a good one. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think we spoke about this earlier on, and I spoke on the phone with John about this a couple of weeks ago as well. Unfortunately, I love the pub, I really do. I love the pub. I love sitting in front of the fire and speaking to friends and standing at the bar. And I think this is one of those shifting moments in time where we're never going to get it back. And
we'll lose it. Unfortunately, we can't use it, and unfortunately, we're going to lose it. A lot of pubs are going to go out of business.
A lot of pubs aren't. It's changing our culture. We have one guy who made friends with my dad. He'd come and drink here with us on a Friday, and he goes out drinking on his own.
Yeah.
The solo drinker has been totally vilified through this process because we've ended up in a position where we've got limited capacity in the pubs, so people want to make as much money out of the capacity that they have. So the solo drinker is shunned now, which is terrible, because the solo drinker, that's their social life. This is their mental kind of sanity. This is their capacity. So and we've pushed them to the sidelines.
We've got a bar in Barry, and it's called the Butterfly Collector, and that's another craft beer bar, but on a much smaller scale than the craft pub we were talking about. But he was talking about, I did an interview with him. I went straight down after. Remember the Please Avoid?
Oh yeah.
Please
they
avoid.
wouldn't tell people to actually not go to pubs.
So I went down to speak to, because he's quite a controversial guy, and he's always going to give me a straight answer. So I went straight down to him and I said, what's your answer with Please Avoid? And he said, I'll tell you what the answer is now, and it's exactly what you said just then, is that there's single old gents, not necessarily old in what you were trying to say, but in this case that it was single old gents that they wouldn't speak to anybody all day, or maybe for 2 days or 3 days. And the chance to go to the pub was to relieve that loneliness of not being able to
just having a chat with the barman, barmaid, whatever, and then doing that. So one of the frustrations of being in tier 2 and you guys visiting us, we normally every time someone comes to see us, we take you on a mini pub crawl of York. It's such a small city. There's amazing places to see and do. And what we had to do today was kind of say, guys, go and do your own thing and go have your substantial meal for two in a pub, and then hopefully come back. What we'd normally do is go straight up the road to the smallest pub in York, the Blue Bell, and it's such a great pub. It's so full of steeped in history. 2 tiny little rooms. They have a permanent Brew York beer on. That's their house pale ale, and it's such a great place. The landlord John's is a great guy, and during lockdown, despite all the restrictions, they managed to open. And me and Sal would go in for a pint when we could. And what was quite nice is it's such a small place, even socially distanced. You kind of sat there and you can kind of say hello, and you got that. You got the guys who normally go in on their own. They can't go anywhere else. They'd pop in, they'd have their pint, and they'd get that tiny bit of social interaction with people. Exactly. You'd say hello, and they're not on the table with you, but they're a distance from you, and you can do that, and that makes their day. That they've been out, they've caught a bus all the way into town, they've done that, and then they've gone home, and that's better than them being locked up in their house.
Exactly. I fear for people's mental health.
For people, and I do wonder how much these restrictions play into the hands of the big pubcos. Because many of them have wanted to shut down some of these community venues for a while because they want to build the next Tesco Extra or the next car park or whatever. And things that were kind of viable before and just viable, now are completely unviable.
Yeah.
And now that they're building a strong case for turning these things that are big parts of our heritage into crappy little supermarkets.
Soulless. Yeah.
So we've got a few more questions we'll quickly fire through. So one from someone called Sal, might be in the audience. Are we entering any beers into any competitions next year?
We will be. It depends what competitions are running. I know the World Beer is running next year, so we'll be back in that again. See if we can defend our UK's best barrel-aged beer title.
That's a really interesting one from Matt Barker. Thoughts on Wander Beyond? You and them are probably the most experimental for your big Impy Stouts. Would you be interested in collabing? Matt Barker. So we know the guys from Wander Beyond pretty well. They've been here, done festivals with us, and Tina and Matt are actually from York. So Matt Breslin, Tina Breslin,
I like the way you're looking at me for
brewer and graphic designer, originally from York, so we know them to say hello to. We know them really well. but we've never really talked about a collab. So if the big game, we would do
But
something.
I mean, it's a no-brainer. We make silly stouts, they make silly stouts. What the two of us could do together, I'm sure, would be pretty special.
Another one you mentioned. Stop topping me up. I'm trying to read the whole address. you mentioned before that demand. Oh yeah, sorry. We've kind of done that one about the demand for Christmas beers. Obviously, because of the fact that we got loads of cask and keg, it's frustrating. But yeah, we will do more Christmas beer next year.
Look, I've got to read this one. Have you guys thought about a collab with Pfizer, as in who's made the COVID vaccine? It could cure COVID, would have to be served exceedingly cold, unfortunately. That's from Peter Merchant. Awesome idea, dude. I can't see it happening somehow, though.
Well, we found out earlier that the water from the Pfizer vaccine is from the Duval
Duval,
Morgan
isn't it? Yeah.
Brewery. Yeah.
So
Which is really cool.
Have I gone from winning to losing the beer competition?
Well, I'm on 2. What are you on?
I'm on 2.
I'm
2,
on
3. So Mel is most definitely winning here.
Yeah.
I never thought we'd get to the point of counting these.
He's
but
great. It feels like Top Gear uninterrupted, something like that, you know.
So you guys got any questions there? Or did you have something
I
you wanted
just
to say on the
wanted to
beer?
say the cinnamon in this is like the icing on the top of the cake. I love it. This is amazing.
Yeah, it's what turns an apple pie into a strudel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Lots of people saying love this. What a night.
So I just put a little note out to everybody watching saying apologies if we're missing your comments tonight. And Rasco and Disco Beer Review says, you always miss our comments, we're used to it. It's not a problem. Good chats, great beers tonight.
Well, if nothing else, you can say your service is consistent.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
absolutely.
This one's very brief.
Yep.
Nitro Stout, please.
Nitro Stout. Nitro Stout. It's so controversial, isn't it? Nitro Stout.
I do like a Nitro Stout. The beauty of the Nitro Stout, like with Guinness, is that nitrogen bubbles are really small. So when they roll across the tongue, they feel like cream.
Yeah.
So that's the appeal of a stout like that.
Yeah.
In terms of producing Nitro Stout, really, really difficult.
It takes
Lots of
flavour
money
away.
needs to be
It takes
thrown.
flavour away, I think.
It takes flavour away in paler beers. It shouldn't do in darker beers, so I'm told.
So I had the bottle version of Jet Black Heart,
Oh yeah.
and then I
Brew
had
York
the
one.
Nitro version, and there was two of us at this tasting, and the bottle version, the Nitro version, had so much more flavour, and I just wondered, is that part of the process, maybe?
It could be the
attitude.
batches as well, so it could be something to do with
Potentially.
their process, and the batch could be tasted.
It depends on how the nitro's in there. So if we were to produce the only way we could do that is in keg, is to massively pressurise one of these vessels beyond their safety rating.
Yeah.
That's how you would push the nitrogen into the beer. To can a nitro beer, the way to do it is to actually inject liquid nitrogen in just before you fill, and then do it that way.
A little widget in your can.
Or you do the widget thing. Whether you do the liquid thing or you do the widget thing, then the nitro is going to be kind of ejected into the beer, out of the beer as you open the can, which is a good and a bad thing.
It gives you a headache. It gives me a headache anyway.
So Andy
but-
on the comments said, didn't you do a Nitro Tonka?
We did.
One?
We did. It was at best, I'll be honest, a bastardized version.
It was cool, but it was hard work and didn't quite. We weren't 100% pleased with the results. So basically, we definitely didn't push our vessels beyond their official
No, because you wouldn't do that,
limit.
because that'd be naughty.
But yeah, we basically forced the nitrogen in, and it was great. Key keg version, especially because that kind of trapped what we'd done, and then you forced it out for the customer. But it was super intensive, labor intensive way of doing it, and you need it. Well, we're going to find an easier way to do it because I keep saying this all the time to the production team. I was like, nitro version of Imperial Ton Cocoa, but that doesn't cost us the world.
We are known as a broad waterfront brewery, as in we make a lot of different things, but undoubtedly the thing we're known best for is our stouts.
Yeah, of course.
So that said, we would love to invest in the technology to do nitro on a bigger scale, and we have explored this. The nitro edition that does the liquid nitro edition on our canning line is a £60,000 investment.
Wow.
That's a big number. How many cans do you think we'd have to sell to justify that?
Nitro dreams of Brew York.
No, wasteful.
We got a $4.99 super chat from Jamie C. How hard is it to say liquid nitrogen after all those beers?
Well,
liquid nitrogen.
How hard is it to say the whole sentence?
Craig McCormack, Glenaverick Brewery, adding nitrogen to cans is not an easy or cheap task.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's from another brewery. Another brewery.
Hence, we were told initially it'd be about £30,000. We then got the quote £60,000 to get the add-on to our canning line.
And we've got quite an expensive canning line anyway, so you'd hope that if you've got a piece of kit like that, it wouldn't be quite as much. But yeah, it's stupid. Well, not stupid. If you're a big enough brewery, that's probably it's worth it. But at our scale,
I would hope down the line we'll do it, because stouts are our speciality. I think they'll continue to be our speciality. Hopefully we grow the amount of stouts that we sell, so hopefully we get to a position where that number makes sense, but right now it doesn't make sense.
Is there, and this is just somebody who drinks beer in their kitchen, is there like you've got your mobile canning lines, is there a way of a company to start up and be a mobile nitro can beer?
It's a good challenge. There is one company that does it.
Right.
The only way you can get it done is if you allow your beer to be brewed in their brewery, then they nitro it, and then they send it to you.
Yeah,
right.
So or we ship our beer to there, and when before we had our own canning line, we actually had bottled beers initially when we first launched, and that meant we had to take our beer from tank here, put it into a container, take it to their brewery, from the container into another vessel into the carbonation. It was lots of stages where it risked spoilage or oxygen pickup or things that would be bad for the brewery, the beer, sorry. And we just weren't happy with the final product. So as soon as we could, we took things in-house. So we don't let the beer leave our site until we're happy for it to go to the customer. So what we don't want to do, and we won't rule it out in the future, if there's a way to get our beer into a nitrogen canning line and get it canned and it doesn't deteriorate the beer, then we would definitely do it. But we're just not comfortable with that at the moment.
I'd love to see one of your bottles. Do you have any? I'd love to see one.
You've got them in your office. I
thought you had them.
No, it's not in your office. It's Matt's office now. The dirty, dusty bottles.
I'd love to see one of those.
I think they are. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
At his next pee break, you can grab you.
Well, when we conclude this live stream at about 2 a.m. tomorrow, we're going to go have a look.
Brilliant. Yeah. That'd be great.
So have you guys?
I heard the fear in your voice then.
There's the Chinese takeaway.
Problem is, I was serious.
So, Salty Popcorn says Brew York is one of the best breweries in England.
Oh, thank you.
Brilliant.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. That leads on to my next question from Daniel McGuinn. Are you going to Hop City Beer Festival in July? As punters or as brewery?
I would say, as with any invitation event, if we are invited, we will be there.
Fair enough. Do you know the history of Hop City
It's organised by a guy.
Leeds Beer House ties back to, and he's now got. He's moved that into Brownhills in Cove.
It was called Optimus Lupulus or something like that, and it was actually myself and Rob Derbyshire from Hopsy. We started the very first Northern Monk Hop City, but the first year was called Optimus Lupulus, and then It was that popular.
I thought Richard from Little Leagues had something to do with it.
It was, yeah.
Do you mean you opened it?
No. We myself, Rob, and it may have been Richard from the lead. But unless he was, no, I think he was part of the first year of Hop City.
Oh, it's the year after you're talking about.
So going right the way back, we organised the first ever popular Snoopiness event at Northern Monk. It was good. But I never went. I haven't been to any of the Hop City.
You've never been back?
No, not the subsequent beers. But we brewed a beer called a custard cream pale ale, where we smashed up about 50 packs of custard cream biscuits and put them in the brewing in Northern Monk. And that was our. What's the where you peel back the can? What's that series?
The 3-6.
Oh, right, yeah.
The patrons,
Project.
we one of the first patrons project we feel that just out of conversation, yeah.
Well, I mean, a small exclusive here for you guys is I know you all love our artwork, but you've never actually been able to take it off the cans before. So coming next year, we will at least be moving part of the range towards being stickered.
That
labelled.
would be really cool.
So you will at long last be able to apply them to your fridges, bedroom walls, whatever it is you do with them that we don't need to hear about. So we have the 6th beer of the evening.
I'd say finale, but it's not, is it? It's
definitely
it's the
finale.
last of the tasting, but we're definitely going to have it.
Oh, bloody hell, I spilled it.
Oh, someone spilt it.
Yeah.
It wasn't me. So, guys, the 6th beer of the tasting pack. So, anyone who's still with us, who hasn't, you are? Oh, brilliant!
That's amazing.
I thought you said no one's still with us. I was like, oh god!
Right.
We've got 300 people as well.
Well,
tuned
as
in,
Simon requests, let's use the comments.
Vibes.
Tell us if you've actually managed to keep pace. Are you still?
Oh no!
No.
Broke the hand.
You have kept pace.
They're concerned about your double parking.
Ah, double part.
Oh,
See him off.
Yeah,
Concerned about your pace.
my pace.
For both of you.
double
right.
packing.
Well, yeah.
Right.
That's
They're
me.
very fast.
Mel's double pack.
Oh,
I
this is
need
very
to.
fast pace. This is normal legal pace.
Yeah, this is festival first day pace. So the 6th beer of the tasting, Nightmare at Brew York.
I actually really want to top up on this again.
So Nightmare at Brew York, 9.6% Imperial Milk Stout.
9.6.
So this is the first time we've done what we've always wanted to do, which is basically amp up the Fairytale. So always have a sessionable version and an amped up version available at the same time. So this is actually last year's Fairytale, taken to the next level.
2018's.
Has this got more coffee?
Yeah, sorry, so it's not like the Fairytale we had earlier. This is coffee and walnut.
Right, yeah.
Bang on there.
So again, if you pray to the what is it? How does it work? It's the pray to the Lords of Brewing and see if we can get the beer to warm up a bit more. So yeah, 2018 version of Fairytale of Brew York, a massively popular version we did. Coffee and walnut, which is Nana Mac baked us one, didn't she? Or cooked us one the other day. Bake Off.
No,
for
it's,
our magazine.
It's based on
Nana Mac.
So on my mother's side, Nana McNaughton, Nana Mac as we called her, she used to do on every Boxing Day, it was a coffee and walnut ring. So you know cakes that are shaped like a ring but then have cream on top?
Yeah.
So she used to do this coffee and walnut ring every Boxing Day. I don't especially like coffee, but I loved coffee in this carnation. Carnation? Incarnation.
Incarnation,
So yeah, we decided to recreate that as a beer. We did it in 2018 as the 4.9% Fairytale, and that was so loved at that time that it made it an obvious candidate to come back this year and be the very first Imperial Christmas beer.
It is really good.
You tried it, have you?
Yeah.
So the cool thing about this beer is we've also put some in barrels. So bourbon barrel. So next year we're going to have the bourbon barrel aged Nightmare, as well as so we're going to have Fairytale Dreams, Nightmare, and Bourbon Barrel Aged Nightmare. So we're going to actually have a 4-pack for next Christmas.
It's still a bit cold again.
It's yeah. So
We're going to have to do that again.
have to keep praying.
Grease the can.
You're using the candles.
Exactly.
That's
That's
right.
right. So,
We haven't got any candles, unfortunately.
JH on the feed says Mel needs to lead this. Simon needs to go on a novice beer course.
No, you can see the
Let me
beer.
get-
Oh, that's a bit harsh.
go on a what?
Mel needs to lead this. Simon needs to go on a beer course.
Oh dear.
It's been a lovely
So what do we say to that then?
Stone the Crows.
Stone the Crows! It's been a lovely day. Yeah,
Right, should we
I'd
see
just
what...
like to say we've got 301 live viewers.
it's brilliant.
With 413 likes.
430
430 likes.
Nice.
And how long are we into this feed now? That's
2 minutes.
2 minutes. It's been a long 2 minutes.
37 minutes.
Sorry?
2 hours 37.
Well, we're fantastic guys for sticking with
flying.
us. That's
Flying,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah.
It makes
I'm
it.
on 20% phone battery. FYI.
Oh, what's mine on? Do you mind looking at mine?
Have we been told phone battery because that's what's filming?
Yeah.
Right, okay. Let's do some questions.
Oh, so that means we've at least got 1/5 of that time to go again. Is that 20%?
We'll.
Well, you're the numbers guy. You tell
What
me.
are we on? 2 hours and a bit?
419.
I don't know that much.
419.
Oh,
Can we do 450 likes? 450 likes. Come on. Hit the like
at least
button
half an
down
hour.
below. 450 likes.
it would seem my brother-in-law is watching. Will you be bringing Brew York back? Ben Davis.
Oh, COVID Ben.
I really appreciate that. Do you know what? It's not one we would rule out, but it's not one we have any immediate plans to bring back.
So we've been talking about this a little bit today. Brew York, and it was and still is a great beer. We love it. It's just not the type of beer that the general public expect nowadays. We use the hops we used in it aren't really like your big appealing hops that people expect to see in an APA. So we put it alongside some of the likes of some of the big breweries who are out there, and it just wouldn't hold its own. So yeah, it's a great beer, but and you will definitely see that beer back. But it'll probably be on cask in here or the beer hall or one of our other venues. We'll brew it on this kit and for the local market, but it probably won't make its way out to the general public.
Fat, aren't they? Can I get a shout out? My family
Number
are
one
watching.
fans.
Number one fans,
Oh,
our
nice.
family are watching. Can we get it? Can we give them a shout? There we go. There.
Big up to Miller.
Big up to me, lads. They're all watching. Brilliant.
We're skipping that one because I
Is
can't read it.
it the Crow parents or the Crow family?
Fave. It's Fave. Right. Right.
Oh,
got it.
here's one by JH. A random question. Your beer names are great. How many
Oh, that's a good one.
cease and desist holders have you ever had?
Just one.
Just one. Come on.
Now, how many cease and desists have we had?
Well, one official and then
Yeah.
one. No, sorry, no. We got one last year, which is a generic thing, which wasn't. It was just a genuine cock up by us and pretty much everyone in the industry. We used the term 12 beers of Christmas. It's a trademarked name, and we didn't realise that.
Was that? Oh, right.
So yeah, we just didn't realise that, and we ceased and desist. So this year we brought our Christmas beers out. We didn't use that name.
But genuinely, because we've had them, we're not supposed to talk about them, but probably enough to fill a wall with.
Brilliant.
But no, we don't do it like that. We don't want to tread on people's toes. We don't want to upset people.
Yeah.
But sometimes you just get a bit carried away in the moment. So the HYG original beer was just a little bit us in the middle of lockdown thinking this is an awesome idea, this is going to be brilliant, but there was just us, and we don't have the normal people to sound our ideas off, and
What you've probably noticed is with a lot of what we do with our beers and our branding, we do tributes to things. So that might be celebrities, personalities, films, TV, that have been part of us growing up through the years.
Yeah.
And mostly that
Goose
is well.
Willis for that age,
So,
really.
yeah, Goose Willis, Juice Forsyth,
Yeah.
Juice Campbell.
Pale Winton. Probably say that one.
Most of it's well received, apart from obviously Pale Winton, who's not able to give his feedback. But every now and again, there is one that gets a little bit sensitive about it. But
It's a bit of fun.
what we need is more people to be like Dame Judi Dench. who went on Graham Norton and spoke about it. And
Wow,
she was just privileged that the beer that had her name on it was brewed in Yorkshire.
that is amazing.
Yeah.
What was it called? What was it?
I
what was
probably
the name?
watched that.
Dame Judy Quench, we call that
Oh,
one.
brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
And then she talked about it on Graham Norton show. Amazing.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
The best
like,
one. That's an
most
amazing
social
way.
media likes we've ever had across anything
Yeah.
is Dame Judy
Apart
being
from
on.
this, I'm on like more likes, 400. Are we on 500 yet?
431.
Have you liked it yet, John?
431.
Yeah.
How many likes have you guys?
Brilliant.
All right,
Brilliant.
well,
That's
we're
brilliant.
so nearly there.
That's
Plus the
brilliant.
50 from the contribution.
Oh, right.
Ah, so we made 100. 3 figures.
Yes. 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 Brilliant.
No, that's
And
pretty
the
cool though.
HB earlier.
HYG.
Yeah. What does that stand for?
No, it's a when you brew a beer, each batch of beer we brew is called a guile. So a guile. So when we got
And if
to
we put the words "Hey you" in front of that,
Oh, I had that beer. I had that beer. Yeah.
Oh, that's a really good beer. I think
it was cool.
That's
It
it
was,
from Daniel Bale.
Daniel
did
Bale.
that, and he's watching. Daniel Bale. We had that beer. It's been
You only
reviewed.
gave it a 9.
I gave it a 9 out of 10.
but a 9 out of 10 is still a
got
stone
a
across.
£5 super chat from Hazy Haze.
Right, Hazy Hazy's drinking along with us tonight. £5 super chat. Nightmare of Brew York 2020 is my heaven. What a beer in capital letters. Stone the Crows in capital letters. Raise
you
a
do it.
glass to Cy, Mel, Wayne and Lee. Come on everyone. Yay!
can you teach Lee how to do a Stone the Crows?
Come on, should we do it?
How do you do it?
Stone the Crows.
Oh, we're not going to do the full on.
Come on, let's do it. Come on, let's do it. 1, 2, 3. Stone the Crows!
We're almost
Do you know where I got that from?
Go on then.
I'm a big Time Team fan.
Oh yeah.
You know
Tony
Time
Robbins.
Yeah. So do you know that guy Phil Harding?
Right.
The guy with the long hair and he's the archaeologist.
Looks like you.
With a hat on. With a hat on.
It's always a sweaty hat.
Oh, we got the wrong one. Yay! Come on, we almost got to the end without copying.
Stone the Crow. Phil Harding, who was the archaeologist on Time Team, come across a bin full of Roman plates that had been sat in the ground for 2,000 years. And he was literally digging out this ground and coming across these plates going, and he just Stone the Crows! He was going, Stone, look at this, Stone the Crows! In his Wiltshire accent. And I just started the channel. And I was looking for a phrase.
I'm having that.
A phrase. I was looking for something, and he was just
Copyright.
excited. He was just excited about coming across these plates, and I thought that's brilliant. Every time I'm excited about a beer, Stone the Crows, Stone the Crows, and that was it.
Well, it works, man. You are renowned, absolutely renowned for it now.
There's
It was a
good-
dying phrase. It was gone.
A good one from Dave on our comments. I know Ricky Gervais loves his beers. What about Ricky Gervais?
Well,
Yeah, okay.
that's a good one.
Going back to the sour because it's left.
Yeah.
So question from Matt. What's your favourite Christmas song?
I like the Pogues. I like
Yeah.
the Pogues.
Fairytale of Brew York,
Yeah,
of course.
yeah, that one.
Have you ever heard the Cats and Jammer version?
Cats and Jammer Burger.
Yeah.
No.
That's an epic. That song.
I suspect that's even less radio appropriate than the original.
No.
No?
It's the
Okay.
same, but the guy is like,
Because they won't play the original Pogues version on the radio anymore, will they?
No.
It's terrible, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah, we've all gone a little bit too PC
we've
now.
gone.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
all gone too PC. Unless you go on the internet,
Oh,
which is where we are tonight.
I'm getting the.
Oh yeah.
We're not like, come on.
You,
What about
you
Bad
scumbag.
Boys?
You scumbag, you.
The wife's joining in
I didn't
now.
say it.
Is she?
Yeah. We got. Can I just
Change the
say?
subject. Any limits to what will be in the January? Any hints good shout actually, because we've missed the hints of the.
Oh yeah, we were supposed to do that between beers.
Oh, it's not actually a question. This is just a hint from these guys.
Oh.
So anyone who's still any of our beer subscribers who are still joining us now, we've got.
We're supposed to do this like 2 beers.
We've got a really cool box coming out in January. Well, let's start off with a bit of an apology because we bring out lots of new beers. We've talked about that time and time again, and we've had a bit of feedback from a few of you guys that they were hoping that we'd have some of the really new releases that we brought out, and we didn't in this box. We didn't because we thought this is a big Christmas thing, and we made a bit of a mistake and said, well, we know that people will want the free Christmas beers, and of course you guys wanted them. That's why you bought them last month. So now you've got them again. So sorry about that. What we are going to do is next year, if we're still doing this, the Christmas beers will be a separate thing. So we're always going to try and make sure it's the freshest, latest beers as our live tasting. So January, the live tasting fresh beer. We'll save the big hitter till last.
So before we get into that, so you if you are a subscriber, you should have a feedback
that we're going to send
in
that
your
out.
inbox.
No, we're send that out tomorrow.
Right, apparently it's coming out tomorrow. So you will have your ability to respond and say what you thought about the early months of the subscription service, see what you want to keep, see what you want to change, and we will evolve it in line with your feedback.
So one of the things that we've based our subscription box on is being beer geeks ourselves and being beer subscription box members ourselves and how we used to do this thing. So it's a bit of a lucky dip in some respect. You've committed to supporting us, and we'll commit to supporting you. We'll get you the best beers we can. Hence why we put out our first ever State of Mind series, barrel aged cherry tom cocoa in the box set. That was a super rare, super cool beer, and we're going to keep doing that. We're going to keep doing things like that to keep dropping those type of things to you. And we want you guys to put a bit of trust in us, and we'll keep dropping some surprises with you. We don't want to keep telling you the whole lineup because we want to keep things fresh and interesting. But what we do want to do is let you guys know what beers are definitely not going to appear in the box, so you've got a chance to buy them before that if you want to buy them. So one of the things we're going to do today is we'll tell you what the... Should we do the feature beer or should we do one of the support beers? Or one of each? So we've got 4 different beers in the next tasting. We'll give you 2 of them today. Seems pretty good, doesn't it?
I thought we were going to confirm the YouTube 4.
Yeah, you wanted to, and I'm saying let's not do that.
Right, okay. Well, 2 beers you will definitely find us doing during the tasting next time. I will name the first one. I think we're going to be on the same wavelength there. The first one is going to be a lemon meringue IPA, which we are calling When Lemons Give You Life. It's all about having positivity in life.
So this in January.
This is a combo of a beer that we love and a beer that we brew that we love. So if you take Simon Le Bon and times it by
Buxton Omnipolos Ice Cream Series Lemon, whatever they're called, their one.
Yeah, but it was a really, really cool of that ice cream lemon meringue beer, and we've kind of tried to...
Was it called lemon meringue? So anyway.
To amp up the Simon Le Bon to make that. So that's going to be definitely one feature beer. So When Lemons Give You Life is coming out in a couple of weeks' time. That's going to be one of the beers that's pouring in next month's box. And the other one is launching next week. So you don't buy it on our buy it on our web shop and then you'll get it again because it's such a cool beer. It's the return of Extra Brownie Pints. So 11% Imperial Brownie Stout. People have been nagging, that's a wrong word to say, but people have been nagging us to rebrew this, to get it back.
It's one of the UK's highest rated beers. It is the second highest rated milk stout in the UK.
Ooh. So we brought it back and we can't wait. We wanted to get to you guys in time for Christmas. So if you love this beer, you'll get a chance to buy it in time for Christmas. You will definitely get it in your January box. So there's the two key beers, Extra Brownie Pints, When Lemons Give You Life, and we can guarantee you that the other 2 beers that we're doing in the live tasting are going to be just as good.
And we don't want this to be too much about the sell, the promotion, so let's quickly conclude by telling you a couple of things that are not going to be in the box next time. Because you guys get frustrated when you don't buy these things, expecting them to be in the box next time. Yeah. So what is not going to be in the box next time? So you probably should jump on the website.
And it launches
to buy
next week
when it becomes available. Is John Biscotti?
Oh no, John Biscotti doesn't launch next week. Sorry.
I was going to top of this.
Yeah, I was going to say I just went straight to what's launching next week. Our annual release of Emperor Stone Cocoa is back next week. So Emperor Stone Cocoa are 10.6% Imperial coconut tonka vanilla and chocolate milk stout. Comes back to the web shop on Tuesday next week. Make sure that you buy it if you like it, because it's going to sell out quickly and it's not in the tasting box next month.
And to quickly wrap up this section, a couple of other bits that will not be appearing are the John Biscotti, which is John Biscotti, the King of Brew York, which is a biscotti flavoured Imperial milk stout. It's 12%, so that's not going to be in the box next time. And you may or may not be aware that we run a competition with our brewers. They submit ideas about what they want to brew each month. This month we had a tie. We had one brewer that wanted to do a fruits of the forest flavoured stout, and we had one brewer that wanted to do a triple fruited goose. And we said, let's combine the two ideas. So we've got the fruits of the Black Forest, we've got some chocolate, and it's going to be combined into a traditional German goose sour.
Black Forest goes, BFG?
Black Forest goes, otherwise known as BFG as we're calling it.
Brilliant. Fantastic.
So yeah, we've kind of dominated the conversation there. So let's move on.
Have we got some...
I got a quick super chat. Sorry, I'm going to get a quick super chat. Lord's Brewing Company, John over there. Massive thank you to you all from Lord's Brewing Company's team for having us at this point. I've read it wrong, you read it, I'm drunk.
Any more Imperial Stouts?
You
Right
read it.
then, massive thank you to all the Brew York team for having me. At this point I have had so much beer I could say anything. I apologise in advance.
Cheers for joining us.
Cheers, John. Cheers, John.
And thanks for sending your comments through that filter.
I think we've got a question from the crowd behind you, Noddy. We've got the mic. Can you
give Stone the Crows the discount codes when we do any promotion so that their viewers can get the discount online?
Oh, we could do.
You know we do Stone the Crows 20 or?
Yeah, definitely.
It's 21 now. It's 21.
That's a given. We'll give Simon and Mella an exclusive discount code that they can use with their viewers. Yeah, definitely.
Cool. I think
And you can
viewers
pick
would
yourself up
appreciate that.
a lovely hat like Mel's modelling for us now. And then Simon's gone to toilet. Has he beat me now? Have you beat me yet? Is that number 3 or 4?
3.
Number 2?
3.
What is the
Going
running
for
total?
number 2.
I think
I'm on 3. He's
I'm
on 3.
2. I think I'm on 2.
Mel's on 2 now. I think I'm still winning.
So it's all about the endurance. I went first, but I am still winning.
I've drank more.
Our feed may have frozen.
Alright, so we're just checking out some feed issues there.
Are we live? We are still live, yeah?
Yeah, it's still live.
Right. This is a very niche question. Favourite Shropshire brewery?
Besides Salopian.
Salopian have been smashing it recently. From Liam Milliard. Apologies if I get your surname wrong there. I'm afraid to say beyond Salopian, I wouldn't know another Shropshire brewery. Would I? Name one then. Come on. Salopian.
Beside.
Yeah. Sorry.
But
Yeah.
we don't live in
Let's move on to the
Shropshire.
next question. Will Clockwork Orange be released on a non-barrel aged version as well as from the barrel? That's from Matt Barker.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yes.
So we have some in barrel at the moment, and they'll obviously be released as barrel aged. We'll brew a new batch, which will be released as a normal beer, and then some of it will go into barrel again for barrel aged next year. And then John has to convince Nadia to let the branding through.
Right. Final question we have lined up here is: with your move to Leeds, any plans to collab with Northern Monk? And that's from Daniel McGuinn. So, like Wayne said earlier, Brian Dixon, who was the head brewer, I think he might be called.
He's kind of done what you have.
Technical director, I think he might be called now. super cool dude that we got on really, really well. It's something we talked about in the past. So hopefully 2021 is the year that we finally make that happen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's about all I got to say about that.
We got any more questions? Any questions in the room?
Have you got any interesting collabs for the birthday?
Have we got any
for our
interesting
birthday.
collabs for
So
the
our
birthday?
fifth birthday. Have we got any confirmed?
We are going to be doing 5, with it being our 5th birthday. We will let you know what one of them is going to be.
Oh yeah, we've got one confirmed. So is anyone? If we are pretty. I don't know. Our industry is a bit funny. We always talk about this in every tasting session. We talk about Untapped. Untapped is a really handy but really annoying tool.
Savage.
Yeah, savage.
Savage.
But the rules of averages means that if you bring a beer out, enough people will try it to balance out the far out there and the far over there reviews, and you'll get a good feel for your beer ultimately to know which way you're going. So Untapped, we hate it but we love it. It's one of those weird things. And someone that we'd already lined up for a collab with, and we really like what they do, we'd already lined up for our birthday, our 5th birthday, and it turns out that they're currently the number 1 rated brewery now in the UK, and probably
Number 1 rated brewery in the UK, number 3 rated brewery in the world. Emperor's Brewing. A guy called Damien who has established a phenomenal reputation over the last few years as a home brewer / nano brewer.
Okay.
All he does is stupidly strong, stupidly ridiculous stouts. So obviously we think he's great because he does what we do.
Yeah.
So we've been in touch with him through a common friend, and we said, look, we want to do 5 stouts with 5 big stout guys for our birthday,
Yeah.
and we want you to be part of that. And given he's called Emperor's Brewing,
Yeah.
and we've previously done Empress Toncoco,
Right. Okay.
what do you think we might be doing with him?
Well, the
for
Emperor's,
the Emperor's Toncoco.
The Emperor's Toncoco.
So the Emperor's Toncoco will be created between ourselves and Damien for our 5th birthday, and there will be 4 other stouts of equal ridiculousn's.
Yeah, we've got some awesome brewers lined up. We just haven't had the confirmation of dates, times, the rest of it, so we can't really talk about it until it happens.
How? Here's a question from me. How important has social media been over the last 5 years to your brewery, from when you started it? So like then the realization of social media and how important it is?
I'll answer that in a relatively weird way, in that we have, I think, about 22-ish employees in the brewery, and it's maybe about 25 in the brewery, 25 in our bars, and two of our employees are the other side of the camera at the moment, who both look after our social media and online stuff. So it's for us, we realise that it's a really important part of the business that we didn't have before, because we were trying to do it in our spare time. So to be able to have 2 people to help us with that, and obviously they do lots of other things as well, but it's a huge part of modern brewing. So to have that bigger proportion of your business, of a small employee base dedicated to it, is a bit of a key tell.
So I just need to cut in at that point to say that our feed is on super low battery. So how long have we got left, do we think?
5 minutes.
So we've maybe got like 5 minutes
So
left.
everyone jump across to...
So is there anything we want to squeeze in on our feed before everybody jumps onto your feed?
Anybody got any questions from the crowd first? That would be...
What's the most expensive ingredient you can put in beer?
Blueberry!
After
Yeah, tax, yeah.
Is it not?
Oh no, what
Otter's tears.
no, I bought no. The most expensive thing I think we've ever bought was recently yuzu.
Yeah, oh my god.
Yeah. Yuzu is phenomenal.
Our street food partner's called Yuzu. They make Japanese influenced food, and we've done a collab beer with them with yuzu in, and it's called The Things Yuzu to Me. And
So
oh my god, that's so expensive.
concentrated blueberry is about £16 a kilo, which is a silly amount of money. Unconcentrated yuzu is £24 a kilo.
Wow.
Yeah.
You don't get, it doesn't go far when it's on concentrate.
Yeah, it's a silly amount of money, but it makes a nice beer though.
Yeah.
It's just going to make an expensive beer. So I think we probably need
We've got
to.
another sponsor.
We've got a
Should we
super
do
chat
one
coming in.
last super chat on yours, and then we'll wrap
We've
up our
got two
feed.
actually.
Oh, we
That
got
one.
brilliant stream tonight. Well done, all involved from Negan. £2
Cheers.
super
I'm
chat.
glad you liked it.
And then we got one from John from Lords saying, "Is there somewhere where he can lie down?"
I'm sure we'll find you somewhere.
on John from Brew York's lap.
So we're just going to wrap up our feed,
Yep.
and then we'll be.
You know, can I just ask a question quickly?
Yeah.
Your Ton Cocoa, do you use Tonka?
Yeah.
we do indeed.
Of course.
That's an expensive ingredient, isn't it?
But you do, a little goes a long way with
Yeah,
Tonka.
very much a little goes a really long way.
Otherwise,
That's an
you'll give someone a
intense
heart
ingredient.
attack. It's
Or kill them.
Yeah, kill
potentially.
them. It's basically it's an ingredient that's banned in the States because it thins your blood, and you have to go a long way to kill someone from putting it in your beer, but
Yeah.
they still ban it.
Thank you so very much for having us on your feed.
Oh yeah, no,
thank
thank
you
you guys for
very
joining us. It's
Absolutely
been a lot of
wonderful.
fun, and it's been a really cool mix up from what we normally do. We normally hopefully we don't bore you guys too much, but we do a lot of stuff about what's relevant to us at that point in time, and it's really cool to get more interaction with the audience. And
So I think it's been super amazing having you guys here.
It's been really
The
cool.
whole day has been.
I hope you guys have
cool.
enjoyed this as much as we
Yeah.
have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you have, let us know. Drop us a line to info@brewyork.co.uk. Let us know, has this been good? What would you change? Hopefully you'll tell us that you've loved this, and maybe we can have some guests along again in the future. So unfortunately, our battery's almost dead. That's Liam Wayne checking out. We will see you all next time.
cheers, guys. Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers, thank you.
Right. We are still, however, live.
Oh shit!
Yes,
Oh, right.
live on